Welcome to the Next Dimension Podcast, your portal to an extended reality. Every week we talk about the hottest topics in XR and let you join the discussion live on MRTV. And now, get ready for another exciting episode coming up.
Hi and welcome to episode 7 of the Next Dimension Podcast, your new podcast which is all about VR and probably in the future also AR. Together I'm here again with Tetiana from Disco VR Discover. Hi Tetiana, how are you doing today?
Hi, doing wonderful. Thank you, Sebastian. Happy to be here as always.
Oh yes, this is going to be a great show. Also with me, of course, Anthony from VR 365. Anthony, how are you doing today?
I'm doing really good. How's it going, Sebastian? I did break a computer monitor like 5 minutes ago, and it made me cry because
Oh no!
it fell off a little table and it's dead.
Oh, I thought you were
All right.
playing Gorn on Quest 2 and killed it. Okay, no. And of course, also with us, Steve. Great to have you back here on the show. How are you doing, Steve?
It's great to be back again, Sebastian. I'm very well, thank you.
Okay, cool. Wow, this is going to be a great show. And I'm also here, and my name is Sebastian Ang, and I'm founder of MRTV. Oh, I totally forgot to say that Steve is, of course, VR Flight Sim guy. Oh my goodness, how could I not say that? Oh my goodness, VR Flight Sim guy. So all the channels of all the people are down in the description of this video, and if they all don't have 100 more subscribers after this show, I'll be very, very unhappy, right? So please go down to the description and absolutely, do subscribe to everyone here. All right, so this is going to be a very nice show. I'm looking forward to this. Please tell everyone that we are live right now. That would be amazing. Simply share the love and share that we are doing this show today. So for all of you who don't know yet, this show is all about VR and AR, and we are live streaming this every Saturday, and it's happening at 9 p.m. in Berlin, 8 p.m. in London. It's noon in San Francisco and 3 p.m. in New York. So these times, at exactly this time, every Saturday, you should be glued to your YouTube, because we are streaming this live. Also, this is an audio podcast. If you are not into watching this live, of course, you can also listen to it in all the places where there are podcasts, and we are also now on iTunes. Yes, finally we are on iTunes. Actually, I heard we have been there for quite a while, but I simply didn't realize it. But yes, we are also on iTunes, and I have one big ask for you guys. It would be amazing if you enjoy this podcast, if you could open your podcast app on your iPad or your iPhone and find the Next Dimension Podcast, and leave us a 5-star review. Not a 4-star review, no, and not below. 5 stars would be amazing if you love this show and if you want to support us so that more people can listen to us and can find us, and that would be amazing. So if you like us, find us on the podcast app on your iPhone, iPad, and leave us a review. That would be pretty amazing. So today's show is going to be exciting. We have like new games to talk about on Quest, like Yupitergrad, which is very cool. I liked it a lot when I played it. Gorn, we know Gorn, of course. Everything is on Quest now, so we're going to talk about those two games. But we also have some other exciting topics. And one of those topics for sure is going to be the Valve NerveGear. So Valve is working on that brain-computer interface, and we're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about what this technology might mean for virtual reality and for the future of mankind, because that is really something that might completely change all of the entertainment industry. Probably also the adult entertainment industry. That's what I have in mind right now. But so this might be pretty interesting. So, of course, also we're going to talk about other topics, like, for example, the Quest 3. We're going to think about how could it look like, because Facebook has just announced they are working on it right now. Right now, as we speak, there are some engineers who are working on the Quest 3, and we're going to think about what this might be. Also, we have some other exciting topics that we're simply going to talk about, and I think it's going to be a hell of a show. So absolutely stay tuned and listen to or watch the whole show. Before we go into all these topics now, I would say we're going to find out what our cast did in the week, in the last weeks perhaps. And we're going to start with Steve.
Oh, me first. Okay. Yeah, sure. Wow, it's been a really busy couple of weeks for me in VR, I'll tell you that now. So I will keep this pretty brief. Otherwise, I will be here for 2 hours talking about it. But I mean, generally, my highlights this last couple of weeks is I finally finished Medal of Honor. And now I'm sure most people have probably completed that weeks ago. But I like to take my time. I like to, really absorb the game. And yeah, absolutely fantastic. I played it completely the whole way through on the Reverb G2. It's just fantastic, absolutely great. There are a few points in it where I thought this game, this is a masterpiece. Other times I thought it's an absolute disaster because the VR mechanics are just. I won't go into details, of course, but yeah, sometimes that really breaks the enjoyment of the game. Some frustrating moments, but yeah, really enjoyed that.
Okay, Steve. Now, I have to ask you before you go to your next thing. So now you have to rate it. You are the one who played it. So from 1 to 10, how much do you like it?
I would say I'll give it a 7.5 out of 10. Actually,
okay, not bad. Yeah. That's pretty good. So it's a recommendation.
Oh, totally. Yeah, I understand why it's the price it is, because at the moment there's not many proper sort of AAA PC VR experiences out there, and it takes a lot of time and effort and R&D to make such a title like this. So they may come down in price if we had some sort of amazing I don't know, a success with PC-based VR games, but at the moment it's just not there. So that extra price does cover that sort of niche, I guess. But yeah, brilliant. I honestly would recommend it, but there is a few frustrating moments in it there that need to be sorted out in terms of the mechanics of it. It's a shame. Okay. It lets it down a bit. But yeah, brilliant. But yeah, also, oh God, there's so much to say, but I'm going to keep this brief. Of course, I've had a Quest 2 now for about 3 weeks. And do you know, I actually thought when I first bought the Quest, I would try it for a couple of days and go, nah, that's all right, I'm going to send it back. But no, it's like a guilty pleasure of mine. And even though I am, a PC nerd, I must admit I'm really enjoying it. I've actually bought Saints and Sinners for it, and I've been playing it recently. And just the untethered experience is fantastic. And I'm very surprised about how well it runs. Saints and Sinners, of course, looks fantastic on PC, but it doesn't look that bad actually on Quest. I'm really excited about what that means in the future. But yeah, really, really cool. And in fact, actually, I've gone through my back catalogue of games that I like Stormland, Asgard's Wrath, and I've actually decided I've sold my Rift S now, which is something I never thought I would do. But I feel at this stage, I know, honestly, I rave about that headset. I rave about that headset so much, but I think the Quest 2 is at a point now where it's such an all-round headset. Even on Link, when I first tried the Quest on Link, it was a bit of I just wasn't impressed at all. But you do have to tinker around and get the right settings. But once, it does pay off. And actually, I played, was it Asgard's Wrath on the Quest 2, and it's just so cool. It's just really with that amazing screen now. It's a really great experience, absolutely.
Steve, you are the one who has now officially killed the Rift S.
No,
Rift S owners were still hoping, wow, Steve, he still likes it. Okay, it's still okay. I can still keep it. I can still be happy. But now you have killed it now.
I've got to be honest, because my first impressions with the Quest 2 were quite wrong. I've got a video on my channel of my very first impressions of the Link, and I was like, "This is rubbish. It's not very good." But no, now I've got it dialed in, and I've now got a new computer as well. I've actually upgraded my PC, to a beast, and that has helped as well, I must admit.
You've got to make a new video to redeem yourself for that review that you gave.
Yeah. Oh no, I have now, honestly. Yeah.
No, but the video card, your video card has the right video encoder, right? See, those of us that are still on old generations, I recently tried Link, and I feel exactly like you felt before. So like if you have a really banging ass PC with a brand new video card, yeah, you're probably good.
Well, what graphics card do you have?
1080 Ti?
Yeah, well, exactly. You're fine with that, honestly.
Oh,
You're
but isn't it the new RTXs have like this new video encoder? Because I was trying to play Asgards, and it was like, I was like, I'm going to go back to my CV1. Talk about, I mean, going back to the really slumming it with the CV1.
CV1 is a great headset. I actually regret selling that. That's, where it all started for me. But no, I think I've actually tried Link on my new computer. I've got a 3090 now, and it does make a difference. It obviously does make a difference, but you don't need that power. You just need to dial the settings in. The great thing about the Quest 2 is you can change the refresh rate, and you can go down to 72 hertz or 80 hertz and just adjust the super sampling slightly. That gives you massive performance gains. It really does. And the bit rate as well. I won't go into technical stuff about it. It's all on my channel anyway. But once you just mess around with that, and you don't need to spend very long on it, it is very, very impressive. Actually, it's a really cool. It's amazing actually how I hope that even though I just hope that the Quest 3, which we'll talk about at some point, will kind of build upon the Link cable and maybe have a dedicated headset that can do both really, really well. But that's for later on. But yeah, very busy couple of weeks flying and simming and playing games on the Quest 2. Oh, it's been crazy. Been great.
It sounds pretty amazing. Flying, simming, questing.
Yeah,
Wow, what a life you lead, man.
I'm working obviously as well in between.
Yeah, right.
Actually, now I've bought this computer, but yeah. Anyway, shall I?
Nominate someone.
Tetiana, what have you been up to this week?
Oh, thank you. Well, this has been an exciting week for me as well, because I finally rebuilt my computer as well. Not into a beast like you, Steve, but into a more affordable, device that you can still play the PC VR games. And this is exciting. I actually had the graphics card, my GTX 2060, for a little while now, but because I had too little space in my computer, I couldn't enjoy like the bigger games like Asgard's Wrath. So I finally bought a 1 terabyte M2 slide.
That's a good
hard drive.
That's better.
Really, that makes a big difference on performance. The M2
drive.
And
it wasn't so big of a difference with like a slightly cheaper one. So I thought, why not? It seems like it would be a really fast one, and it is. It's really, really cool. So I'm excited to start, exploring more of these games. Like Asgard's Wrath has been on my account for a while now. I have never tried it yet, just because I couldn't.
Check, by the way. It might be in your Oculus account, just because mine just appeared there. I haven't bought it. It just appeared there.
Oh no, I haven't bought it. I also snatched it when they were giving it away.
I didn't even know they were giving it away. Actually, I had no idea, but it just appeared there and thought, yeah, it's great. Definitely try it.
Yeah, I thought you do have to place like a request for it, but I guess they're like, oh, it's Steve. We know he'll want that. We'll just do it.
Oh, I will.
Yeah. So other than that, I also kind of fought my fear a little bit and tried Doom 3 on VR.
Oh, how did you like it, Tetiana?
I just, my curiosity won over the fear to just try it, because I knew that this is exciting to try this game, and I know that it would look so much more impressive in VR, and it did. It scares the heck out of you, even though the graphics isn't like what we have now in 2021. But yeah, so I was sort of okay at the beginning when there are many people walking around like, oh, cool, I don't feel so lonely. There's still the whole team of these researchers on Mars, but then everything.
Then you go underground.
Yeah. So killing, the zombie humans wasn't as bad. I kind of could do that, but then I thought, okay, let's see how long I would last. So yeah, monsters still freak me out, so I'll stay on the zombie stage. But it was really cool, and the installation wasn't as difficult as some would make it look. It's really not. It's quite easy to make it work on Quest. So that's exciting. And of course, I tried Gorn yesterday. Oh my goodness, this is such a crazy game. I laughed the whole time, and I don't even like violence that much. It's nuts. It's so hilarious.
It's over the top, right?
over the top, like stupid, hilarious. And that animation, those tiny legs, oh my gosh, like I couldn't, I felt like some kind of a psycho just playing, chopping heads off and laughing like, what am I doing? What is this game turned me into? But I definitely recommend it if you want to, to blow off some steam. It's very satisfying, really funny. You're definitely going to be laughing a lot. So yeah, that has been my week. A very, very strange week, but this is it.
Lots of questing. Lots of quest games.
Oh,
Great.
I hate it and I love it at the same time.
Yeah, I totally know your feeling.
Damn Quest 2, honestly.
Yeah. Who is now, Tetiana? You can choose between Anthony and me. Who should talk about next?
Yeah, let's hear from Anthony. What have you been doing?
Yeah, so I've been in a totally different world in VR this week. It's been all about the stock market and GameStop, which
damn.
I don't know if any of you guys have been. Yeah.
Are you a millionaire yet?
I should be, but I'm not. So check this out. Like a couple of weeks ago, I actually found out about this GameStop thing, but I didn't really pay attention to it. And I was like, I don't know about all that. And then as it started to get closer and closer, like I started to read more into it. And I was like, I should take some money from my checking account and move it into this stock account and buy some GameStop. But I was like, it's going to take me like 3 or 4 days just to like try to do that whole entire thing and get it in there to be able to buy something. And I'm like, by that time, it's all going to be dead. And had I done it, I would have been golden, man. I still would have been able to get in.
You wouldn't need to be on this podcast anymore.
Yeah, there's a lot of Reddit millionaires all of a sudden. It's pretty amazing.
Right. Wow, that's interesting. So no VR for you. It was all looking at GameStop and being unhappy.
Well, you know what? I did play one VR game this week. I played Right Eye of Atlantis, I believe it's called. Right Eye of Atlantis. And I don't have the best things to say about it. I got to be honest. I got to say that as much as I really wanted to experience like ancient Greece or ancient Rome and kind of be in that kind of environment, so I was really kind of excited to play it because it does give those kinds of vibes. It seemed very like early generation VR. Like it would have been great in 2016, 2017. But now we're in 2021, and I just feel like developers, it's tough because I know a lot of these developers probably had a great idea for a VR game. They started a couple of years ago when games weren't that good in VR, and now we're on a whole new level of VR quality, and their games are finally finishing, and it's like if you're a hardcore VR nut job fan that really wants something that kind of has a Greek or Roman vibe, and you're okay with kind of like walking simulator with a little bit of puzzle type stuff, this might be okay for you. But ultimately, I would probably wait for a deep discount, in my opinion.
Okay, got it. Good. That's your week?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
There's this other thing I've been messing around with. It's called it's called Home Mapper, or what is it called? It's called
right, yeah.
Custom Home Mapper VR. Custom Home Mapper is what it's called. Do you want to wait and talk about that a little later? Do you want me to go ahead and do this now?
Let's do it later.
Okay.
Let's do it next. Yep. Cool. Okay. So, yeah, for me, I played like one quest game, and I really enjoyed it. It's called Yupitergrad. I don't know how to say that in the correct way, like a bit Russian way. Since
Yupitergrad.
Yeah, Yupitergrad. Wow, I love it. Yupitergrad. And this game actually is so much fun. But okay, we're going to talk about this in a moment, probably, right? When we talk about the new things that came out. Other than that, I did hardware. You know, I love hardware. I love hardware reviews and checking things out. So I was checking out the Cat VR Loco S. And these are some sensors that you put on your legs and on your hip. And these sensors will check if you're walking on the same spot or not. So in order to walk in virtual reality, then you walk on the spot And that works actually surprisingly well. I was so surprised that it works so well. So I was walking through Medal of Honor, I was walking through Half-Life Alyx, and all these games that support free locomotion. Yep, you can buy those sensors for $229. And yeah, you have something like an omnidirectional treadmill, right? You're only like walking on the spot, but after a while, your brain will think that you're actually really walking. And that is cool. That is really cool.
I just got this vision, Seb, if you're like going wrong, and then you start walking and not realizing it, like in the Mr. Bean, Mr. Bean or something, and then you end up in some sort of like shopping center.
Right.
How did I get here?
It was Mr. Bean. Yeah, right.
So was it actually working? Like, I don't
It's
know if
working.
you get any cyber sickness when
Oh,
you're in VR with that moving locomotion, because I do. I'm still like working on it, so I'm always on the lookout for these solutions that would help. Do you
right.
think that would be a good solution for someone like me?
Exactly. First of all, Tetiana, I think you must click on the bell button on my channel, since you have obviously not watched my channel. I got you here.
Found out now.
I found out now. But yeah, fun aside, yes. So it really works well. And I believe that especially for people who have problems with getting sick when they have free locomotion, this could be really something for you then, because you do have that kind of motion and your body feels like it's moving. And normally you get this motion sickness because of this disconnect between what you see and what your body feels, right? That you're not moving. So these kind of locomotion methods, like the cyber shoes or this Loco S, it can help you. So that is a cool thing. And yeah, I think you should totally check it out if you feel sick in VR, right?
You know, one little suggestion. Have you ever played any of these VR games? They're not doing it anymore, but they had these VR games where you'd basically take your controlers and you'd go like this.
Ah,
and
yes,
you would
this
move.
also works.
Yeah,
I think,
you know, they actually have some similar movement technology in the Gorn, but you're not actually
Right.
just doing this. You have to press the button and move your reality.
Grab,
Like,
Yeah, I
and
think
then
yeah.
if you do it quickly, it kind of looks like you're walking. It looks funny, but it does work. And I know they have a continuous locomotion option, but I knew that it doesn't work very well for me. So I thought I'd do that, and I lasted for 20 minutes, which is my personal record in this type of games.
I have
Okay,
to
cool.
agree actually in the comments. Blizzardo, I can't pronounce that very well. He just said train your body, and I think that's the best way to do it, to be honest, and the cheapest way. Stick a fan in front of your face, and then which really helps, and then just do it for 10 minutes, then take a break, go back
Right.
after an hour, do it again. It's amazing how quickly your brain actually gets used to it after a
Yeah,
while.
your brain will
Sure.
adapt, I believe.
right.
Yeah, like short gameplay sessions, I guess.
You will,
which is-
right. I think you will get used to it. So yeah, you have to grow your VR legs. It's kind of true, and I've been in this whole VR thing now for so long already. But yeah, I think it's cool to have something like the Loco S or the Cyber Shoes. And of course, we're still all waiting for these real omnidirectional treadmills like in Ready Player One, where you just walk around. And I believe it's going to happen. I believe that we're going to see that day.
Yeah, but train yourself is cheaper. It's
Yeah,
cheaper
you're right.
to train
You're-
yourself.
You're right. It's absolutely cheaper.
I can't imagine how much they are, but yeah, wow.
Yeah,
I bet
you're
they're very
right.
expensive.
This is going to be expensive in the future. Yeah, right. So other than that, I have a new VR headset here. This is part of an internal study that the German Telekom does. It's a headset called XR Space Manova, and what they're doing, they want to make the metaverse. They want to make the Oasis happen. So it's like one virtual reality world. You go inside and then you can meet friends and all kinds of things. So I am part of this internal study. The German Telekom wants to find out how Germans will like this kind of thing. And yeah, I'm there to give them feedback, internal feedback. And yeah, that's what I'm doing right now. So on the channel, I did an unboxing and like some impressions, but not too much since it's an internal study, of course, and they're still in beta. So yeah, they have lots of things to improve. That far I can say. But it's interesting. I'm always open for new hardware. I think it's amazing that there are other companies other than Facebook who still invest into virtual reality. And I believe that at least we should give them a chance, right? To see
Yeah,
what they have to offer, and yeah, to give them feedback, what they can do better. And yeah, that's definitely something. Check out my video on it. It's called XR Space Manova, and I did an unboxing and a very simple first impression video. Then also I checked out VR lenses, like VR Wave it's called, and these are lenses for your HP Reverb G2 or your Quest 2. So if you normally wear glasses like I do, and you want to see better and more clear in VR without having to put on the glasses in the virtual reality headset, you can get those lenses, those prescription lenses, put them on top of your lenses, and it's pretty amazing. I really like it. You can get closer to the lens. You don't have to worry about scratching your lenses, right? So I'm really totally into this. And for these VR Wave ones, they even have magnetic ones for the Quest 2. And I must say, I really like that. And Tetiana, you have them too, right?
Yeah. I'm actually testing them as well. It's not just that, right? They're protecting you and they're prescription. But
Right.
I don't wear prescription glasses. I think I'm lucky in that aspect. But I would still, I still got them because I'm constantly concerned about scratching them with anything.
Right.
Like when I'm testing different head straps, and there are so many times that even some of my, viewers, they say, "Oh my goodness, I tried to take off the Elite strap and I almost destroyed my lens." And some of those third-party straps, they're like tough to put on. So you always like almost touching the. You have to be very, very careful with that. And
are there lenses? Sorry to interrupt. I just wondered whether there are lenses that you can actually have those lenses for people that don't need glasses, just to protect.
Yes,
you
they
can
have
do
it.
that as well. That's cool.
They have that.
Yeah, I do actually. I do have them right now. So they don't have any. Oops. They don't have anything. Like they don't magnify or anything. They're simply.
Frankenquest 2.
That's it too. So yeah, it's just they have the blue light filter. And
Okay.
I wear the blue
Cool.
light filtering glasses when I work at the computer most of the time, because it kind of, if you don't, especially if you play before you go to bed, you can have some trouble sleeping. And so I'm glad that they came up with that option.
I like the idea of, because I bet once you put them on, their field of view is it better because does it magnify? Do you get closer to the lens, or you
Yeah,
kind
I
of
It
think
really doesn't do anything. It
Yeah.
doesn't do anything. You
Okay.
can't tell a difference at all if you don't have
Right.
a prescription and you just order lenses. They're also the cheapest, obviously. It's cheaper to buy
I'm
the
listening
ones that
now.
don't have
I like cheap.
Yeah,
That's good.
But I think it is more important for people who need prescription lenses, because
That's the point.
because it's an accessibility issue, and it's so big, because I just try to put the glasses, the ones that I have just for the blue light filter, and then I try to put VR set. It's terrible, man. And people play like that, and now I feel so bad that that's the only option for them, really. And this is really a very important upgrade for people to do when they wear prescription glasses, in my opinion.
Yep, I agree. And I think, you know what? I think it's so funny. Probably when we were young, our parents told us, don't sit too close to the television. It's going to be bad for your eyes, right? And now, okay, hello, virtual reality, boom. Just slapping two televisions there in front of our eyes. Very interesting.
I got my my parents to try VR, and they said that to me all the time. They actually love it now. So I feel like I've got the last laugh there, really, with that.
Man,
Yeah,
you're
really.
lucky.
Revenge.
Yeah,
When I go
totally.
to visit my parents, when it's finally safe, I'm already planning. I'm going to take this VR. I'm already planning what kind of games I'm going to
Yeah,
show.
totally, actually. Because
I really want to do that, but
it was frustrating because when I first showed VR, it was a long time ago, and it was like the Oculus CV1, so it wasn't as great resolution, and the wire, I had to take my computer downstairs and that. But now I've got the Quest 2. It's going to be so easy just to basically go, here, put this on your head, and then just it's going to be so much easier to show people what VR is all about. So I'm looking forward to that whenever
Right.
that day comes.
Hopefully it's going to happen soon. I have a good feeling about it. Yep, so there was my week, hardware, playing something. It's all about VR, like every week. Every week's like this for me, and I enjoy it, of course. Perfect. So now we can talk a bit more about some interesting topics. And I know that Steve, he wasn't on the show for quite some time, and he has something on his heart. Can I say it like this? Yeah,
I like it. That sounds good.
Yeah, right? You want to tell us something.
Well, I mean, really, obviously, my main form of using VR is for flight simulation. That's really the big deal for me. And I just wanted to just touch upon something pardon the pun, you'll know why I said that in a minute, is because when you're in VR, okay, and this goes for racing fans as well as like first-person shooters, everything is incredible, as you know, the scale of everything, the visuals, just incredible, right up until the point where you touch that steering wheel, or you grab that AK-47 or whatever it is. But in the flight sim world, it will be a yoke or a fighter stick. And actually, have I got
HOTAS.
a HOTAS? Yeah, you know about this.
Yeah, I'm not even the VR flight sim guy here.
But basically, there's that in the flight simulator sort of community, freeware has always been a big part of it. It's amazing what's out there, like fully fledged, Airbuses and sort of fighter aircraft, all free, and it's really a big part of why the flight sim community is what it is. I think it's not, it doesn't have to be expensive. And there's a guy called Phil who contacted me about a while ago, actually now. And he is proposing that if you have a 3D printer, and a lot of people have 3D printers nowadays, and they're quite cheap, you can actually make your own controller to the point where it looks as good as this. I've actually got one here. I just wanted to show you this, guys. Okay, I don't know if you can see that on the screen. Okay.
Yeah, we can see it.
This is a replica of a Spitfire yoke, fighter stick. Sorry, I always say
what?
Yoke. Basically, if you imagine, right, you're flying in a Spitfire and you reach out and touch the fight stick, and this kind of sits there. You reach out and then you touch it, and you can see the movement and the exact stick in VR, and you're feeling it with your own hands. That really feels, and I can't emphasize this enough, it feels amazing. It's like experiencing VR again for the first time, because you've got that tangible, you've got that that tactile feedback along with the visuals. And the fact that if you bought something like this off the shelf, you're talking of at least, oh my God, I mean, how deep are your pockets? It could be up to £1,000 or more, but this is literally just simply made in your home. And the guy Phil, authenticate.org. So maybe if you could put that in the description.
I can. You can just send it over to me later.
Yeah. Authenticate.org. Phil, he's a very passionate guy on this one, and he is proposing that all of his designs, so whether it's a fighter stick or a yoke or whatever, he's basically, you just download it, send it to your 3D printer and let it do the work. And then obviously, he's got some guides to put all this together. And I've been using this. I've got a lot of videos on the channel now in various simulators, including DCS, dogfighting really badly because I'm not very good at it, I admit. But it's just a fantastic sort of feeling to be able to have that, that final piece of the puzzle, I guess, really. Apart from, I guess, the actual motion, which if you're crazy, you could actually have a motion rig as well. But I mean, I am tempted to get something like that eventually.
But how is this controller connected to the virtual world? Is it like something that you hold in your hand that you connect your controller to, or what is it?
Well, it's just a USB, basically, because it's quite simple, and his instructions are so easy. I am so inept at DIY. Honestly, I am rubbish at building anything, but I could build something like this. That's how easy this is. And all you need to do is follow his instructions, and this connects straight to your computer. It recognizes it straight away. And in DCS, I didn't have to do anything. I literally jumped straight into the Spitfire, and everything was working. And you can see here you got the wheel brake there.
What?
That's your guns there. And yeah, it's just amazing. And you can do all this,
but you can
just for the price of parts.
Okay. So you need some more parts. It's not that you print out everything here.
Well, actually, you can do this one of two ways. You can source the parts yourself through his own website, or you can get kits, which are incredibly cheap.
Authentic kits.
Yeah, authentic kits, exactly that.
Oh my God.
I don't know, just having that bespoke control. If there's a certain aircraft or certain, and this could work as well for racing fans as well. There's a certain car or whatever, but in obviously flying terms, that you really like to use a lot. I love the Spitfire in VR with that canopy, and you're flying. It's just in the Revo G2. It's just amazing. And then this really does sort of complete the whole immersion for me. It's brilliant, and I really recommend that people need to get on board with this, because it might seem quite difficult, but it's actually really easy once you get your head around it. And it's just about that forward thinking. A lot of the flight sim community are a little bit kind of fickle. They don't like change. It's like, oh, this is something different, I'm not sure. But actually, this is brilliant, and this will save you thousands and thousands of pounds, and surely that's worth it for that.
Wow.
As well as, yeah, it's brilliant.
Unfortunately,
It really is so cool.
this podcast is not yet sponsored by authenticate.org,
It should
but
be.
it totally should be now.
Seb, you've got to get one of these. I'll ask him to send him one because
Okay.
honestly, in Aerofly FS2, you're going to love it. It's brilliant.
Really?
It's a never-ending rabbit hole, though, because like eventually you're going to go to some kind of like particle board with all the switches
right.
and knobs
Yeah.
for every little
Absolutely,
thing.
yeah.
Right?
You know how it goes, yeah.
But-
He's going to send me a throttle and everything as well, so it's going to be like a whole cockpit by the time I finish.
Yeah.
But
But this
you know.
thing, do you have to put it on your table, or how do you fix it?
It's actually, yeah, I haven't got the, basically it's a frame, which is all very ingenious. All of this stuff is kind of being built upon things you can already find. It's not anything, even though it's a bespoke controller, the things that you use to connect it and everything are all sort of very easy to find. I think what he uses is a bracket from, I think, either a monitor or something, or a TV. I can't remember what you said now, but it fits directly. So it kind of floats like that, kind of like in between your legs. That's basically where the real controller would be. And it just sits there, and it's just really easy then. It's a very natural just to kind of, use it rather than being in the way. It takes 2 seconds to
and how expensive is it?
It's basically free, apart from just the getting a sheet of plastic maybe and some wires. That's basically it, really.
Okay,
It's
wow.
super cheap. Super cheap.
That is cheap, though. Authenticate.org. Wow,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
Authenticate guy will be so happy to watch this stream. They were like, wow, the Next Dimension podcast. It is my favorite podcast now.
But really, I think the only there's a new aircraft about to be released for Microsoft Flight Simulator, and it's the Flying Iron Spitfire. If I had £1 for every time someone commented on my channel saying when's it going to be released, it's going to be released very, very soon, and I'll have it on the channel, and I'll be flying with this. And honestly, them two things together combined,
wow,
oh, it's cool.
It's
brilliant.
Do you have already a video on your fantastic channel about the controller?
Yes, I have loads of videos of this. of me
Okay.
flying badly with it. So
Notification bell.
Yeah. I just want to say you're right. You got me there. I don't have the notification bell on your channel on yet.
yeah,
I have to do it.
That's funny.
You got me there.
Hang on, Seb.
Tatiana, you got me there.
Nice.
That is hilarious. That's instant karma.
Yeah, you're right. I deserve it.
Totally.
I deserve it.
Ah, brilliant.
Yeah,
But
good.
it's just a really good way, a cheap way of getting a premium bespoke controller, and this could extend to even first-person shooters, because I know you have gun stocks, don't you, and things like that. I don't know
Right.
how much they are to buy, but it's just a 3D printed design, isn't it? End of the day, so it's
Yeah,
something
right.
that we could get into. I
Okay,
think.
cool. Very interesting first topic. Authenticate.org. Not sponsored in any way.
No,
Not
at
yet.
all, no, honestly.
Not yet, yeah. But if somebody wants to sponsor this podcast, get in touch with
Yeah.
me, All right, cool. Great to hear from this. And now let's get a bit into Quest. Lots of interesting Quest topics today, and lots of us own the Quest. I think, all of us own the Quest right now. They made it. Yeah, they made it. They stick it to us. They made it happen. And the great thing is there's still something like SideQuest, where you can get some games that you probably would not find in the store, or where you can get some apps, some interesting apps, where people try out something new, something futuristic, something that is exciting. And I know that my man Anthony is really into these kind of things, trying out the future of virtual reality. And I believe that Anthony, I saw something on your channel because I totally clicked on the notification bell. And you have you found something really interesting.
Yeah. So here's the thing. Going back a second here, is I am interested in the future of VR, like where we're going from here, right? And we're going to get into that later in this episode. And, we're going to get into that in a very deep way. But one of the future technologies that people are thinking about is combining your real living space with VR. And this is something that is eventually going to happen. These different headsets are going to have all these extra cameras on the outside, and they're going to use machine vision, and they're going to look at your house, and they're going to recognize, oh, there's a table, there's a sofa, and they're going to start accounting for these objects, which will help make VR safer. But also there's going to be other apps that can actually almost take advantage of your surroundings and stuff. So this future is out there. And I was amazed to find out that you can actually get a sneak peek at this future right now on your Oculus Quest. It is called Custom Home Mapper, and I believe it goes for $8. You buy it on itch.io, and then you load it on via SideQuest. You load it on your Quest. Now, here's the thing, though. This thing is a little bit dangerous, and this is not for like your average Joe Blow Quest owner. You got to be like a serious VR nut that is willing to go the extra mile, like building a controller out of all kinds of attachments and stuff to make it happen. You got to be
a balcony.
Yeah, you got to be pretty freaking deep on this, because here's the thing. When you use Custom Home Mapper VR for the first time, you're basically recreating all the walls of your entire house and like the layout of your entire house. Now, you don't have to do your entire house. You could do a couple of rooms, or you can just do one room, or whatever you want to do. But for me, I thought it would be incredible, because think of this future. Imagine if you were in VR and you're like walking around in this room, and then you go walk into your kitchen, and then you go walk to your bathroom, and you're in this bedroom, and you're in this living room, and maybe you're in your backyard. In the future, it could be VR everywhere, and you're still in VR, and it's taking advantage of like physical objects to like ground you in the experience even more. I mean, it's incredible, right? So when I first got this, it starts out and it gives you like this flagpole, and you basically take the flagpole to the corner of the room, and then you're just pulling a wall. And then it's like, okay, I pulled it to here. Now I'm pulling this way. Now I'm pulling this way. And if you make a mistake, you just hit like the A button, and it erases just the last portion of wall that you made. And so you go around making your entire floor plan. And when you get back to the original flagpole that you planted, you put this one next to it, and it's like, and it basically has your whole floor plan of your house figured out. Now, here's the problem, though. People don't have empty houses, right? We got junk all over the place. We've got tables, we've got chairs, we got all this stuff. So the next thing that you have to do when you're using this app is you make these little cubes. You basically make different sized cubes to represent your chair, to represent your bed, to represent like your computer desk, to represent your monitors or TVs or things that are a washer, a dryer, refrigerator, all these different things, right? You have to make these physical objects within this world so that you don't just walk right into your refrigerator. So it's very time consuming to do this. Like, it takes a long time. But once you're done, then you can overlay a video game, a VR game, that is literally happening in all of these rooms. I played this game called Vortex, and you're like flying a little spaceship, and you're shooting little bad guys and stuff. And I was literally walking from this room, walking through the hallway, walking in another room while I'm still playing the game. And
That's
it's
cool.
like it's you're seeing a glimpse into the future. Now, people will look at the trailer and stuff, and they'll be like, yeah, but these graphics are like Minecraftian or even worse. This looks like it's on Nintendo Entertainment System. But it's happening in your house, and you feel like this sprawling thing if you actually map a bunch of different rooms and you're walking around. But incredibly dangerous, because I almost destroyed my Oculus Quest 2 in doing this setup. Because the thing is, it accounts for like your walls and stuff, but what if you have something that's up high that is sticking out? Like, it didn't really account for that, and I ended up banging. I was wearing my Quest, and I was trying to like design my whole house, and I like banged into something really hard, and I was like, oh no, did I just break my Quest 2? Luckily, I didn't break my Quest 2, but like, if you have dogs, cats, people leaving things around.
I was about to say that. Yeah. I was about to say, if you've got dogs and stuff, like I've got 4 dogs, and like, oh my God, I can just imagine it being carnage, you know.
Yeah, maybe in the future they put a little like sensor that you put on your pet, and it renders it in virtual reality wherever
it should
he
be in
is.
VR,
Yeah.
exactly.
Well,
oh my
when
God,
we get
dogs
to-
in VR.
They
Probably
will be in VR, I think. They
Yeah,
will actually.
they
When we
will.
get the cameras that are analyzing our apartments and reporting back every little item that you own, they're going to
Yeah,
know
right.
about your jellyfish. They're going to know about
Yeah.
BB King.
Yeah. Are they real, by the way?
So am I the only one who's feeling uneasy about the idea. On top of giving up all the data from my Facebook account, I'm also going to give up the data about my freaking house.
Yeah, of
This is
course.
a
Of
little over the
course.
top. And just to play, I mean, is it just to play the little mini games in your house? Is there? I know that someone in the comments said that this was like real estate's dream to map the houses and to be able to walk in the house without actually like driving up there and checking it
So
out. But for now,
it's not just the little mini games that they have in there. There's actually a multiplayer mode now where you can invite, so you can make a nice looking house. Like you can put chairs where they need to be and then you sit in the chairs. You're like living in this little VR world. It's like way
Perfect.
beyond like big screen beta or something, because like we've seen these videos on the Oculus subreddit where somebody meticulously redesigned their living room in VR, and they're like showing on one side their real life house and then on one side VR, and they're like watching Netflix on a giant screen. They're sitting on their couch, but they're in VR. We've seen that. This basically allows everybody to do that for $8.
That's
But
okay.
nobody's talking about this. Nobody.
In the future, and this probably sounds stupid, but never mind. Couldn't this just be done the same way with pass-through? Just if you had a really colored display.
I just want to say this is actually our future, our augmented reality future.
Mixed reality, yeah.
I told you that AR is going to be so huge, and this is going to happen. Think about the following: in the future, you might not need to decorate your apartment with all these expensive things like this Chinese vase or whatever. Probably your apartment is going to be like very, very basic, nothing on the walls. Everything is white. But everyone is going to wear those AR glasses, right? Yeah. So all of the decoration, all of that huge screens, they will all be in
marble
AR.
Floors.
Yes, your marble floors.
Your fountains.
No, really, everything. And the great thing,
this technology is amazing, but I just feel like that there's going to be so many implications. Like you say, liability costs. I can't see Facebook getting on this as much as it's a great idea. Imagine
in AR, they will. In AR.
In AR.
Spatial
but not like this.
understanding is huge. Every company is going to have to figure out. So they will do this eventually. But initially there is going to be liability issues. And I'm kind of worried for the guy that made this little app. I hope nothing goes bad for him with somebody.
Yeah,
but I can totally see a company like Airbnb creating this real estate with just empty rooms, and they're going to be charging hundreds of dollars for when you're renting that room. They're going to give you a VR set, and you're just going to be in this luxurious place. I can see this happening already, and all they're going to have to do is have these empty boxes of rooms and the VR sets, and they'll be making tons of money out of that.
It's going to happen.
Well, think about, you could take your Quest 2 with you with this software, and like if you're at your work or something and everybody's gone, you could map just like a giant area of your work and play. There's all these weird little games that like, it's amazing when you can just you're freely walking around in VR. Isn't this the dream? Don't we want to go to a warehouse somewhere where we can walk around in Skyrim and just keep walking and feel like we're there, like real walking, not just walking like this, we're really walking. Well, you can literally do this, but it is a bit dangerous. You'd have to have somebody to kind of spot you in case there's some object you don't see or something, but you can see the future for $8. Like 3 years early, but it does take a lot of work and it's incredibly dangerous. So just understand that.
It's on SideQuest, and what is the name, Anthony?
It's Custom Home Mapper.
Custom Home Mapper. Okay,
yeah,
cool. So this is our future that you can check it out now for only $8. Wow, we're like promoting so many things today.
We really need to plan these things better. To reach out to
right. We have to reach out to them before, to make all that money. Oh, I'm getting good ideas here right now. Anyways, this is Custom Home Mapper, and definitely the future. This is our AR future. And we will be talking here on the podcast when it's going to happen. And I'm so sure we will have these glasses on, and there will be decorations in our room, right, that come in through our AR glasses. And then we can simply change our decoration if we feel like it. The interesting part, though, is it's not just rooms that we can decorate. For example, probably my wife does not have to put on her makeup. she will just upload her makeup to my AR glasses, and then when I see her, it's like, wow, Eliza, you're so pretty today. Yeah, and then she will tell me, hey, Sebastian, you're so muscular today. And then the magic's gonna happen. So this is going to happen. This is our AR future. Really interesting and cool that we can have a glimpse into this thanks to the custom home mapper that Anthony found on SideQuest. Really cool. Very, very cool. Nice. Okay, but there's other interesting new apps or new games actually that are on the Quest Store, that are officially on the Quest Store and that people can buy right now. And let us simply talk about one of these. And let me just show the trailer here right now. And the trailer says the video may be inappropriate for some users. I understand and I wish to proceed.
I'll look away now then.
Right, let me just show that to everyone. I believe that now they should be able to see it. And we're talking about Gorn. So Gorn has been on the Steam VR on the Steam VR store for quite a while, and it's a VR gladiator game where you fight against other gladiators in virtual reality. And the thing about this is it looks very cute in terms of the graphics, like very comic style, but then actually it's over the top gore. Like it's just like super gory.
Gore
like
porn. It's gore porn.
Yeah.
Gorn.
Yeah, you're right. It's gore porn, Gorn, and you can pick it up right now on the Quest for, I believe it is $20. Is it $20? Yeah, right.
$20. Yeah,
Only
it's a very simple game, really. It's not demanding at all from the perspective of the gameplay. It's not complicated. So it would make sense if it was more expensive than that.
Right. So, Tetiana, you played it, right? You did play it, right? You got it.
I did. I kind of giggled just from thinking about it because, I probably had too much fun for it to be healthy playing this game, because I watched it on the flat screen and I thought, this is disgusting. Why are people so crazy about this? This goes against everything I believe, and they even have to, I watched the trailer. I couldn't believe that they actually had to blur out some of the violence in there. I'm like, well, I'm sure it's not that bad.
But it is.
So I jumped right in.
It's odd, isn't it? Because it is gory, but it's hilarious at the same time. And I'm thinking, why am I thinking it's funny? But it is funny.
Yeah, like I don't know why. I didn't know why it would be funny. But
it's therapeutic. It's therapeutic.
It is. Your perception. So you really need to take it super lightly, and you can't take it seriously just because these graphics, those little guys who skip the leg day in the gym, they'll make you laugh every time. And this game was, it was never meant to be taken seriously. And I think when I posted the gameplay, and I think I mentioned it there, that people who develop the games, especially for VR, because it feels so real, they try to be like a little bit more careful with these killings. Often we see like they are reducing the amount of blood you see when you shoot someone, or when you're shooting someone, maybe it's not a human form, maybe it's someone like a robot or a zombie, something that's a monster, so you don't feel like you're killing a human being, right? So the gore goes in the absolute opposite direction. So they're humans and you're destroying you're chopping their limbs off, you're like destroying their jaws. I hit someone in the face and their eyes popped out, and like
they probably have families waiting at their virtual homes. Like, Daddy has to go fight again today. No worries, he'll be back. Yeah, and then play against Tetiana. It's all over.
But this game is almost like a statement, as a response to this, like correct, the games that
PC.
The games that avoid maybe brutality. It goes all in, and it shows that it's okay. It's not real. It's funny. We don't have to take everything so seriously. And they make it as funny as possible for a game where you're drowning in human blood, basically. So that's maybe what makes it so funny.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of the Roadrunner and like Tom and Jerry, that kind of humor, because that can be quite violent, actually. You know, Tom and Jerry and those older kind of like cartoons, but it just does it in such a way that makes it light-hearted. And I wanted to ask actually, Tatiana, how did you feel once you'd finished that session? Did you feel like a sense of relief? Like I actually feel better now because I've just been going crazy for 20 minutes.
No, she went out with an axe.
Oh, sorry.
I actually wanted to continue playing because I haven't realized at first. You know how normally in games when you're losing or when you are hurt and you need to recover, you need to step away, like don't let anybody hit you. You need to recover. Well, in this game is the opposite. You need to like immediately kill someone to like gain his energy, and then you don't die. So I haven't realized that, and I died a couple of times before I realized that I just have to kill them faster. That makes sense, right? You're dying, just kill others. And this game just made me want to play more because I knew that there would be more different enemies, more different weapons. I know that there would be like some little crawling like crabs or something. I wanted to see them, but I had to take a break from the gore. But no, this game didn't leave me disgusted, or I didn't think that it was something that I wouldn't be able to take because of the gore. It really just made me laugh. It made me feel lighthearted, and I kind of blew up my steam by hitting them because it's very satisfying. It's not a very difficult game. It's just a very satisfying.
I was going to ask Tatiana as well about there's no locomotion in it as such, but you have to move your hands, and it looks awkward. Like looks a bit of a pain to do that. Actually, is it?
There is locomotion. I'm sorry.
Oh,
there is locomotion. Actually,
okay.
There is an option that will just make it a continuous locomotion. There's like tons of options there about how you grab stuff, how you walk. So,
that's cool.
So there's a lot to choose from. But I kept that because I knew that continuous locomotion makes me a little bit more, nauseated. So I thought I would try this like moving, and it actually helped me because I was just making these movements, and it made me feel more like I'm walking, even though it was really like awkward and funny. So what made it worse, because I was recording myself, so I had to stand and I couldn't turn. I had to turn with the trigger too. I had to turn myself with the controller, not with my I didn't want to be like facing the camera with my back. So that's what made it awkward too. It would be easier if I could turn in any direction. So I think that it's just whatever will work better for you. Luckily, they have many options.
Right.
That's cool.
That's really cool. Anthony, have you played this on PC VR before?
Yeah, no, Gorn on PC VR is a freaking classic, but the thing is, one of the real classic aspects of it is the collision detection. So when you're hitting the other guys, when you're like hitting their arms and you're hitting their armor, like the way it feels when your object collides with them and then like their armor degrades and it like cracks a little bit, you hit it again and it's like halfway falling off, you hit it again and then it falls off. That collision detection, the big question I have, I've never played the PlayStation VR version of this or the Quest version, but my number one question for anybody that has played them is, do you get that really good feel of like you're slowly wearing something down, and when your object is colliding with them, it really has this like real good tight feeling to it that is just hard to describe. I don't know if they were able to translate that to Quest.
I think Paul in the comments has just said that the physics are the same on the Quest, actually, which would be great if that's the case. But just the graphical fidelity of it's just the thing that's been toned down a bit. But
it looks pretty good, though, right? It looks pretty good.
Yeah, if I understood correctly what you mean, Anthony, these different weapons that you're using, they do different type of damage. So at one point, I picked up this axe, and depending on how I hit it, I was able to just chop the limb off because it fell exactly in the right angle.
That's what Anthony wants.
To cut it, and so
more
you
could.
And then
more realism in the slicing and dicing.
Yeah,
you know,
that's what we want, right?
That's what everybody wants.
Kind of sucks, right?
Right.
Yeah. So it really depends on how you use each individual weapon. It makes different damage to the protective gear that those gladiators are wearing. And if you hit like really strong on the head, it just folds in their body. And I think I could feel that. The only difference that I saw, because I just watched the videos of some PC VR versions is that there was more blood. Like if you were hitting someone, there's more blood on the weapon.
Okay.
But that's just the cosmetics kind of aspect. You see it in a more detail. If just in case you didn't have enough blood in the Quest, then you play the VR version. You have more blood.
Right.
So
if you buy Gorn on the Quest, do you get it on the PC for free as well, or is it separate?
Is it a cross-buy? I haven't checked
I
yet.
don't know.
That's a good question, but I would say probably not, because porting something from Quest to PC, I don't know, when they're coming together, they kind of do together, but when they're porting it to Quest, they're downgrading a lot, so it's like they need to develop a new game entirely.
Yeah, right.
So in many cases, it just doesn't justify, like with Beat Saber even. I was surprised that it's not cross-buy, but they just said that it went too much effort, too much time to port it.
It's funny because Saints and Sinners is cross-buy, isn't it? And I've already got that for the PC, and then I bought it for the Quest, but I've already got it for PC anyway. It's like, annoying.
Yeah, but did that one come out on both of them simultaneously, or did they port it to Quest?
No, they'd spent a lot of time on it, actually.
Yeah,
I
right.
think it was released... When was it released, actually, on the Quest? Not long ago,
Last year.
obviously. Yeah. But,
Last year.
Sure, that's
2020.
cross-buy? It's really cross-buy?
Yeah.
Really? Like
think
Saints and
it is,
Sinners?
isn't
Like okay.
pretty certain I've got, where I bought it from, it said it was cross. I need to check now. Go check. But
No
I'm pretty
cross-buy
certain
for Gorn. So okay, Tetiana.
Someone in
So
the comments.
it's fun for adults like us, but what would you say? Is this like too brutal for kids? What do you think?
It's a good question. It's a
Right?
good question to think about it. So I would say that it still depends on the age. What do you consider to be a child? Because there are parents who allow like 7 or 8 years old to play games.
I don't know.
Think
Not this
that-
one.
That's not,
This
yeah,
one is
that's-
a bit
that's
crazy,
definitely
right?
Not going to be
Maybe 12, 11.
Yeah.
Depends on
think,
the
like,
kid.
13 and up probably would be. They probably would be already able to like understand all the not the irony, but
The fun of killing people
the-
with a baseball bat.
well, the fakeness of it, right?
Yeah,
It's
right.
they're not even pretending that they were actually killing someone. It more feels like an arcade where when you're like shooting someone, you're shooting some ships, you're destroying these people. You don't really think of them as people. You know what I
Right,
mean?
I understand.
So this could be because of how like the graphics is over exaggerated. Their shoulders are like a mile long, but then their legs are like matches. So maybe this over exaggeration of everything in the game, including blood, but everything makes it more appropriate because it looks less real and more
Right.
cartoonish and comic.
It is cross-buy, by the way. I've just checked. It definitely
Okay.
is.
Okay.
Oh yay!
Yeah.
I might make a
Not
comparison
Gorn,
now.
sorry.
Not
Saints.
Gorn, right?
Oh, not
Saints and yeah. Okay.
Dang it.
Gorn could have a
I've
kids
had-
mode that you activate a kids mode, and then instead of blood, it's like they're pinatas and candy
Right.
just exploding out of them,
That's fun. That's
or
fun.
confetti.
They're smart.
confetti.
They're smart to
Also,
do this.
I think there's a multiplayer for PSVR version of Gorn, or a co-op or multiplayer. I wonder if there's for Quest. I also haven't checked yet, but that would
Alright.
be fun.
Yeah, that would be really good. Yeah, so Gorn, I believe it's a game that I could actually recommend because it's funny if you like melee, this kind of combat action. This is the right game for you, right? If it's okay for you that you crack open somebody else's head and it's kind of fun, then this is a good game. And you can pick it up for $20 on the Quest store now. Also, another game that you can pick up on the Quest store now is Yupitergrad. No, Yupitergrad. No, come, Tetiana, give it to us again, please.
Yupitergrad.
Yupitergrad, exactly. That sounds
Wow.
Gotta get
amazing.
that brrrr.
Yupitergrad. It has those consonants like Tergrad that you have to really roll off your tongue. Yupitergrad.
Wow, that is amazing. That is amazing. And yeah, for all of people who don't know yet where you come from Ukraine, right? And then from Ukraine. And yeah, you can also speak Russian, and that's amazing. So let's
It's
have.
fun because yeah. 'Cause when you play that, you can hear also those accents. I think they are real Russian accents. They're not
Yeah,
actually faking it.
it's so funny. It's really a fun game. So I streamed that on my German channel, and I loved every single moment of it. First of all, you have this cool cell shaded graphics, right? Complete cell shaded, and the story is about you are an astronaut or cosmonaut. I don't know exactly what is the difference. And then, well, you are on a Russian space station. And you have to, you have to go through some levels using some kind of like Spider-Man technique where you have these, how I cannot say this in English. You are like
Plungers.
the plungers, exactly, and with
Toilet plungers.
yeah, exactly. You have those two toilet plungers on your arms, and you shoot them, and then you would fly through this space station like a Russian Spider-Man. It is crazy. It is totally crazy, and all of the time you're getting your instructions in some super strong Russian accent, and it's simply pure fun. It's pure jump and run fun, or jump and swing. It's jump and swing fun. And I had an amazing time, and you can see it right now on the screen for all of you who are watching this on YouTube, like what kind of levels they have. So there's lots of environmental puzzles, lots
It looks
of
quite hard of it.
It's
Some of it looks actually very
it's
difficult.
kind of tough. Yeah, it's kind of tough, and you will die a lot, but it's still great because the locomotion, they have really nailed it. So this is actually how I would imagine like a Spider-Man game could look like. It is fantastic. So this is actually a port from the Steam VR version from before, from last year, and I played it already on Steam VR, but now it's on the Quest, and it looks exactly the same. So you don't feel any kind of downgrade for the Quest. It's exactly like the Steam VR game, but it is with a Quest without any cables. And you do have to spin, you do have to turn around. So I felt amazing playing this game, playing Yupitergrad. I can't say Yupitergrad. No, I will say it German. Yupitergrad. Yeah, Yupitergrad.
Ooh, that sounds even worse.
Yeah, it sounds terrible. Yeah. Anyway, so I love this game, and it costs $15.
Oh, 15?
Yeah, you should pick it up.
I was going to ask you, since you mentioned that you played it. I watched some trailers, I watched some gameplays, and I was wondering, doesn't it feel a little bit repetitive to you? Because all of these are empty corridors, and there are increasingly, difficult obstacles on your way, but there aren't any characters there. You don't really interact. Right. All you do is fly as a Spider-Man. Does it get repetitive to you?
Actually, no, because the puzzles are really very interesting, and always new puzzles, always new things. And it's not just this kind of Spider-Man thing. You can also fly a bit by giving some thrust. You have some thrusters on your arms, and these thrusters you can also use when you're underwater to swim really fast and nice. And they really have nailed the locomotion. It is just so much fun. And there are always new obstacles, always some new interesting thoughts that you have to think about, like how will you solve that puzzle. So even I was there alone and there was nobody else other than this Russian guy who told me what I have to do, I loved it. I really loved it. And I believe that you guys should think about picking up Yupitergrad. Yupitergrad.
See, even the name's hard.
Even the names are. But they kind of.
I actually played that a little bit, Yupitergrad. I didn't play the Quest version, but I've played it on Viveport.
Okay,
and
cool.
I love the visuals. Like, the visuals are just absolutely what I love. I love that retro style look, kind of like Compound, that game Compound, and some kind of Borderlands, that style, right? And I really wanted to love the game, and it's pretty cool, but for some reason, after I played it for a couple of hours, and I was like, yeah, I get this, but it's almost like I want to like it way more than I actually do. That's the way I felt when I played it. Like for me, Windlands 2, like that kind of swinging felt a lot better for me, where this was like, and then, and it was like, it seemed very robotic and almost, I don't know, but maybe I probably need to play it more. It does look cool, but I would say that I'm a little bit on the I'm not so sure side.
From what I haven't played it, but the physics don't look very particularly impressive in terms of like, you know, when you're swinging, it just looks
feels-
like you say it's very. Is it
It
like?
feels right. It feels. I was like,
it
wow,
just looks
okay,
clunky.
cool. No, really, it's like wow. That's the thing. This game could never happen in 2D. This must be experienced in virtual reality. And
Yeah.
Tetiana, that's something that you like, right? Some gameplay mechanics that can only work in virtual reality, right? So this might be something for you or not.
Yeah, I appreciate games like that. And now that you said that, it actually made me want to try. I can give you a funny background on the name if you want,
Yeah, please.
from the linguist's perspective. So, Yupitergrad is actually an old name of like Yupitergrad is the old name of St. Petersburg,
Ah, okay.
the city. So Yupitergrad is like the archaic name for that, but the game is called Yupitergrad. Jupiter is Jupiter.
Yeah, right. Oh,
So
that's
basically,
why.
it's a combination of Jupiter and St. Petersburg.
Wow,
Yupitergrad.
that is amazing. And you guys wouldn't know this if you would not watch the Next Dimension podcast. So you can even learn something
can
here.
call
It's
it
amazing.
Jupitergrad.
Exclusive.
You can call it
Very
Jupitergrad if you want to. Jupitergrad.
Yupitergrad. Wow, cool. So that is happening now on the Quest. It's going to set you back $15. And in my opinion, you should pick this up for $15. It's not an expensive price, but the game is fun. It's great, great physics, real fun jump and run. If you're into jump and run games, and if you're not, if you don't feel sick very easily, then I think you can pick it
Yeah,
up.
there is some motion sickness when you're spinning around
right.
in there.
Yeah, right. It can get pretty wild in Yupitergrad. So, but very cool, very interesting. I love that kind of like this retro Russian vibe that it gives you. Yeah, it feels great. I love that. It's fun. It's absolutely fun. So yeah, check this out if you want. It's out on the Quest now, and also it's out since a long time on Steam VR. So for everybody can actually play this game. All right, that's it for the topics of the Quest, of the new games. Now we can go to a really, really interesting topic. I mean, no, the other topic was also interesting, but this is really
This is better.
This is pretty. This is crazy. So let's talk about the brain-computer interfaces. So I've just opened the Road to VR article, and well, there was a really interesting interview that Gabe Newell gave to New Zealand's One News, and this is all about BCI, brain-computer interfaces. And well, from this interview, first of all, we learn that Gabe Newell is a huge believer in the technology, and we learn that actually, in his opinion, BCI is way closer than we believe, because we guys now believe that brain-computer interfaces is something science fiction that's probably going to happen in, like, I don't know, 10, 20 years. But no, according to this interview, we learned that actually brain-computer interfaces are kind of close. It's going to happen quite soon. And in Gabe Newell's opinion, BCI could be an extinction level event for every entertainment form. He thinks that everything else is going to go away. Virtual reality, watching movies, watching cinema, because, well, you're going to get it directly into your brain, and in a way that is even better than we can experience it now, because in his opinion, all these meat peripherals, like our ears or our eyes, are not good enough. In his opinion, like, there's going to be better visuals in this BCI because, well, our eyes can only give us this kind of resolution. But if this goes directly into your brain, well, we're going to see something that we cannot see right now. So in his opinion, the visual experience, the visual fidelity they will be able to create, the real world will stop being the metric that we apply to the best possible visual fidelity. Crazy. But this still sounds like science fiction, right? But now let's get to the part where it's not so much science fiction anymore. So he has revealed that they have a partnership with a company called OpenBCI. And this company, OpenBCI, they are making brain-computer interfaces, but they're making those interfaces that are not invasive, so not the ones where you have to break your skull open and have something connect to your brain. It is more like they will read your brain, how to say that, your brain waves, and they will get so much data from your brain waves. So they will understand how you feel. They will completely understand how you feel. And this OpenBCI, they work on something called Galea, and that is all about VR, using this technology for VR and AR. And they are able to measure human emotions and facial expressions. And they include happiness, anxiety, depression, attention span, and interest level. And these data points will be used to make better and more immersive games. So what this means, like, it's like you are in a video game and the video game understands how you feel. If the video game or the VR game finds out, hey, this guy is bored, okay, let's throw some more enemies at him because he or she is too bored. Or the user, he is a bit scared. Okay, now scare the real shit out of him or her, right? So this is something that is not far away, Gabe Newell says. And he says all the developers in 2022, so next year, who do not think about BCI, they are not smart, because this is going to be huge. So this could be crazy. So who has an opinion about this? Anybody who would like to weigh in on this?
Well, one quick thing I will say about this, there's two different ways to look at this story. Okay, there's the future-facing way to look at this story where, oh my God, there's all these incredible things that are going to happen. Like Gabe Newell talks about sleep. Sleep is going to be an app. Like, I need to get 5.7 hours of REM sleep, and you just dial that in, it's automatic. You know, so all these crazy things. We can look at the future-facing stuff, but what I think is actually more exciting about this story is they show the head strap, the future head strap, this Project Galilea or whatever it's called. And the thing is, I listened to this interview that Gabe, the interview that Gabe gave here, a longer article where he goes into more detail. It's like it's on a recording that you can hear. And one of the things that he talks about is that they need to be able to test this with 100,000 people. And the only way they can test it with 100,000 people is to get a headset out there that 100,000 people are owning. And then they can gather that information and they can learn, you know, they can learn via all these huge numbers of people that are using it, because he's saying, like, right now we can bring in like 25 people, we can bring in 100 people, and we can do these tests, but it's going to be so much better when there's like 250,000 people that have these things, and we can run the tests, and then we'll learn so much more information. So Valve is literally being held back by not having this very specific type of head strap in the hands of like 200,000 people. Now, what does this mean for VR players? This means that new Valve VR hardware is absolutely guaranteed. They are absolutely going to have a new headset with a new strap because they have to. This is a Trojan horse that they've got to get into people's homes so they can do these tests and find out, are 100,000 people scared? Are 100,000 people nervous? If they make the difficulty stronger, how do these 100,000 people react? This is absolutely critical. And so it's absolutely guaranteed that we're going to get a new Valve VR headset, in my opinion, by summer 2022 at the latest.
Okay, wow, summer 2022. Valve NerveGear confirmed here on the Next Dimension podcast. Oh my goodness, this is amazing. Wow, this podcast is unbelievable. So, yeah, wow, you say something really exciting there, Anthony. So I also agree. I totally agree with you. They are, of course, working on the Valve Index 2. And why shouldn't it include something like this? I don't think that these sensors are going to be so expensive those sensors that simply measure your brainwaves. Actually, I did buy one of these brainwave sensors that you can connect to the Rift S, and I did a video on it. And even with this, they only had like I think 3 sensors or so. With these 3 sensors, they could already detect what kind of state I was in. Was I relaxed or was I anxious? These kind of simple things, they could already check out with this sensor. But if they have like a few more of these sensors built into that Valve Index 2, wow, they could get so much data. And in this interview, Gabe Newell also says, it's a treasure trove of data. It doesn't make sense not to look at it, not to get this out. Because why wouldn't the game developers know how the player feels? Because you can make the game like change depending on how you feel. Isn't that super exciting, Steve? What do you think? What do you think about this? Is it something?
No, I don't like it at all. Sorry, I'm going to be that guy, aren't I? But I just think, why can't we just focus on getting a VR headset with a brilliant field of view, really comfortable, make it really light, have fantastic solution all around? Can we get to that stage first with a brilliant resolution before we start thinking about all this?
I have an answer
that
to
sounds
that.
more practical.
I have an answer to that because VR consoles and just VR technology is not just for gaming. And we can sit and talk about how this can be used for games in this dystopian world and Black Mirror of how the games will be there will be games that they will become progressively scarier based on our fears and all of that.
I don't want that though.
Isn't that what you're thinking about, Steve? Right. But
no, in life, in all our lives, we are getting measured and assessed all the time. Pressure on us in society is too much as it is. And now we're going to chill out, kick back and have a game. And then it's going to get more stressful just based on our own sort of emotions and feelings. I think it's overstepping the mark. I really do. I don't like it.
But I think there are other applications for that. As an educator, I just can't stop thinking about the future of this technology in the field of education, and specifically in the field of adaptive learning. There are already technologies out there where there are adaptive AI systems that help us, like if you're learning in virtual reality or even in
of course, yeah. I mean,
systems that are adapting to your knowledge, right? Your experiences.
It is the biometrics. I mean, like the HP Omniset is used for flight training, and it measures the stress levels on pilots. That kind of thing is cool. But when I'm playing, a game, just chilling out on a Saturday or whatever, I don't want that. I just want to play it the way I want to play it without all this measurement stuff.
It would be great to have that as an optional thing. But I do think it really depends.
You'll opt in for the brain surgery.
It's going too far,
But Steve, how about it's like you're playing this game and you really feel bored. You'd like, but then something cool happens because they know, oh no, Steve is bored. Let's change this into a flight sim. And then whoosh, you're in that flight sim suddenly. And then you think, wow, cool, that brain scanning technology is amazing.
You're talking to someone who will quite happily sit there on a 3-hour flight at 30,000 feet, so I never get bored.
Okay.
Not with the game, because if I did, I just wouldn't play it. I'd just do something else. I'd do something in real life. I just think VR has a point where it has to stop and you just go out and do something in real life. And I just think that's going too far. I think for training purposes, brilliant, absolutely. I think for learning, the learning environment, definitely, but not.
What about for developers though? Like developers will be able to find out. See, the thing is, you can have all these people come in and test your game, and you can give them this long questionnaire about when were you bored in this game? When did you do this? And sometimes people will just lie. They won't give you the real information. And with this, they can find out, just like we find out with our YouTube videos, when did the entire audience of the show stop watching?
Yeah, right.
They stopped watching at a certain time, and we go check it out, and we're like, oh, that's when I got really boring, right?
Yeah.
Well, in these games,
sorry, go on.
I was just gonna say, in these games, they're gonna find out like, everybody seemed to get really bored of the game when they went into this particular cave.
Right.
Let's redesign it so we don't have this cave.
Exactly, Steve. What do you say now? That is such a good point.
It's going to be
no,
so
because-
cookie cutter, Steve. It's going to be so.
We
Good.
already live in an age where we're just an age of people who have got no patience. We want things now all the time. Being bored is part of the gaming experience. It is this certain
Really?
parts of
Not
the
for
game-
me.
Yeah, there is, because otherwise you're just constantly stimulated all the time. That's not good for your mental health
But
at all.
I think the continuum of the feelings will be more detailed than just bored and excited. I think that there will be moments where you are not excited, but you're curious or interested, or you're puzzled if you're thinking about some kind of a puzzle that you need to solve in the game. It's not necessarily like bored.
Yeah,
you
right.
need to change that. Like, no, it is. I think it's still a continuum, and maybe this technology will help us understand when we are, not as excited, but we're still interested enough to continue the game.
That makes sense. That makes sense. And one more thing, Steve, about like being relaxed and stuff. How about you play a puzzle game and then the puzzle is too hard for you, and the brain interface can tell, wow, this Steve, he's not relaxed at all. He's getting friggin' stressed because he cannot solve. Because he cannot solve the friggin' puzzle, and because
hate
it
puzzle
knows.
games.
Yeah, I know. Okay, but because it knows it. It will give you a little hint, and then you'll feel like super relaxed because now you can solve the puzzle.
I have a problem with that.
No,
I have a
honestly, let me
problem.
just say, like games
Okay.
in the old days, the old games that we used to play were so damn hard, it would take you a week to get past the level, right? But then when you finally did, work it out, you felt great. If the game makes things easy for you or changes it depending on your mood, then there's no reward factor for me at all there.
Yes,
I want it to be difficult.
I kind of
Okay,
agree
but
with
here's
that.
the
That's
thing.
kind of my problem.
I thought you wanted to relax. You have to choose
Oh,
one
so-
thing now.
You don't understand. He's a flight simmer. Maybe that's the reason, because I'm a flight simmer. Yeah, I think I'm just going to put it down to that.
It's an explanation for everything.
I think so. Yeah, definitely.
Flight sim guy
So
is a flight simmer.
Lars in chat says, absolutely true, Steve. If you're not bored in a game, you will never get surprised. But here's the
Yes.
thing.
Point.
There's a difference between boredom and pacing. Like Halo knows how to pace the game. They know how to have like slow, quiet moments and then like bursts of high impact action, and then it slows back down. They understand that. Just because a game has some pacing doesn't mean it's boring. I think there's differences here. And I think you guys are worried that, oh my God, there will be no pacing. It's going to be all action, action, action. I think that's different than being bored. They're going to actually know that like I don't really want to play this game anymore. You're going to have that thought. And they're going to notice that that's different from like, oh, the pacing is slowed down, and now I got a little quiet moment where I'm going through a quiet city before the attack happens.
Yes, Anthony, and it will be tied up to the developers' expectations. When they see that, oh, look at this moment, the monsters is going to jump right on him, and he's supposed to be scared and excited. And then if they see that it doesn't happen in the brain, then it also shows that maybe there's something wrong with the development of the game. So if they expect the gamers to be a little bit relaxed at this point of the game, and that's what they find out through this technology, then it goes as planned. But then if they expect them to get excited at this time and they don't, then it's also a good indicator. So I agree with that.
Right. So this part is about reading and understanding the users and the gamer's brain. That's one part that seems not so far away, actually. The other part, of course, is writing to the brain, and that's something. Yeah, you're right. That's something that Anthony has mentioned in the beginning, where Gabe Newell said, "Okay, one thing will be the first thing that he could imagine is going to happen is this sleep app, where you simply can say, okay, I want to sleep now. The next 8 hours, I want 2 hours of REM sleep, and the other time just deep sleep. Make it happen, and then boom." That's something that he sees happening as the first thing. And when you read that article, it simply feels like he doesn't think all these things are so far away. It seems like there have been made some huge progress that we even don't know about. And also others say that, like Elon Musk has also talked about, that actually they have made great progress on that brain-computer interface when it's all about writing to the brain. And I can just believe that the entertainment industry is going to be unbelievable once you can experience somebody else's experiences just as if you would have been there. And I'm not only talking about the adult entertainment industry. Although this seems to be something
That's
that
all
could
you
be
seem to think
pretty
about
good.
then.
That could be pretty good, I imagine. Yeah, but what do you think, Anthony? Like, what in your imagination? Like, how far is this away? Really experiencing somebody else's life in that
Wow.
brain-computer interface.
See, I'm kind of a Debbie Downer when you get to the point of how far this stuff is away, because I listen to so many different podcasts where people are like, yeah, the singularity's like 12 years away, man. And like AI and like Terminator, it's going to happen in the next 4 years, AI sentience and all this. And I remember this was like very late 1990s or very early 2000s. I remember reading all these stories about nanotechnology and how you were going to get these little tiny robots injected into your bloodstream, and they were going to clean all the plaque out of all your arteries and remove it and do all this crazy stuff, almost like Minority Report, when those little things went in his eyes and all that stuff. And that was 20 something years ago. Where's this nanotech? Honestly, I think people are way overestimate this stuff. I don't even think the military has this stuff yet, and they're 20 years ahead of everybody. So I believe, yeah, if you're like 10 years old right now, get really excited, because when you're 70 years old, you're going to have the ultimate freaking Matrix. But for the rest of us, man, I think it's probably like 50 years away.
Could be. Steve, how about if there was this kind of technology where they can write into your brain and you could experience to be in a real fight, like as in like in the airplane. You can relive, like you can really be in the thing. Is it something that you would do?
I just, not long ago, we were all worried about Facebook and our personal data. Now we think that's great to write stuff into our brain and, kind of share experiences with other people. No, thanks. My experience is my own. Okay. I do not want them shared with anybody else unless I want to express them. I just find it quite scary, and I would not be a part of that at all.
Okay.
So I really
man, you wouldn't. But wait a minute. Think of your favorite band, like your ultimate favorite concert that you would ever go to. You wouldn't for like 5 minutes if you could experience what it would be like to be the lead singer with the crowd cheering.
Exactly.
Not at all. No, I'd rather.
If it was safe, it was completely safe. It's like instead of watching TV, you're just like experiencing like jumping out of an airplane or something.
Exactly.
No, I'd just rather put a really light VR headset on with the 250-degree field of view and. No, I'm not. I don't like it at all.
You could do all kind of things and experience all kinds of things that would be not safe if you did them in real life. Like,
isn't that VR? That's VR anyway, isn't it?
No, but
it to be written into your brain.
No, but for example, you could really feel the same emotions. Like, let's say somebody who is on an LSD trip. Like I wouldn't do that in real life, because I don't want to have like the bad outcomes for my body, right? But if I would use this kind of interface and I can feel that exactly, I can feel exactly the same things as if I would take these LSD
The problem
things.
is
Sounds good to me.
The psyche of the brain, and obviously the trauma that the body reacts and the memories that it holds within our old sort of being, as even just day-to-day things, can be traumatic, and anything like that will sit in the body, and I think it's got the ability to have a very harmful effect on people. And I just don't. If VR is like that anyway, I think VR should have a very high age limit as it is. This is taking it way too far for me.
I think maybe. Sorry.
Go ahead.
I just wanted to say that I think maybe we need to understand the urgency of making VR as real as it can be. I mean, is there really this urgency to increase the realism and to increase the feeling that we are there? Because like Steve said, there can be some like emotional, psychological effect. Absolutely. We're not talking about physical, but again, if we're talking about LSD trip, maybe there will be some psychological effect that you're unaware of, even if physically it's not going to hurt you.
Okay.
If you're scared of heights,
you will get addicted to it, to be in the thing, perhaps. Yeah.
Who knows? I mean,
could be.
Who knows? We don't know that.
Right.
If I don't want to jump out of the plane with a parachute because I'm scared of heights or I'm scared of this experience, what makes you think that I would want to have that experience at home in a VR set, it will be the same experience for me. I would be
Right.
feeling the same way.
But
I
you
don't
would,
want that.
but
If
you
I
would
wanted,
know,
I would
but you would know that actually you're sitting at home and you're safe. Your body is safe. So probably that would
Okay.
still, right?
I can't even convince my body that I'm standing and not moving and I get sick. Do you think I can convince my
I don't
body
know.
that I'm not actually falling out of the plane? I'm really bad at this.
Right,
There
right.
always has to be, at the end of the day, a difference, a distinction between reality and fantasy.
Ground
There has to have that.
Way to ground yourself. Yeah.
If,
I
then,
agree.
if that becomes too jaded, and it already is incredible with VR, there has to be a cut-off point, and that's too much.
What was
Okay.
the Black Mirror episode with the two people they were like doing Street Fighter and it was
Ah,
ultra
that was
real?
And then
remember?
and then they start to have
Oh, yeah.
some sexual
Yeah.
intercourse.
That's what this
that was
is,
pretty.
man.
That was pretty
But
funny. Yeah.
one of the things Gabe was talking about though is that like what you're gonna see in your brain from vivid colors and stuff is gonna be ultra real, beyond what we like when we're at a beautiful vacation spot and there's the beautiful ocean and the beach and these palm trees and we're looking around at everything and we think, man, this is ultra high resolution. What would this be if this was a game? It's ultra high resolution, right? But he's saying that with this, it'll be beyond that. Like the blues are going to be bluer. Everything is going to look better. It's going to be hyper real, absolutely incredible. But then he also mentioned that there is a downside here. He said there's nothing inherently unhackable about this technology. And he talked about a Russian, like some kind of Russian hack that could happen where some guy, Bob, is like, hey, remember that guy, Bob? He was running around naked in the woods for weeks on end because his brain got hacked by, his BCI got hacked. So he also mentioned that there is that possibility as well. So the FDA, all kinds of agencies are going to have to look into this stuff. This is a long time away from like actually going in and getting LASIK surgery or something and actually having a little chip implanted in your brain and experiencing this. So
But
it's
also
at least 20 years away.
But also we talked about addiction. And there are people who get addicted just to regular video games and to the point where it's unhealthy. People get addicted to VR.
Of course, yeah.
This
even
would be
though some,
crazy.
imagine
This would be
if
crazy.
VR is actually better than reality with colors, with the way
People will be
that your brain
depressed,
sees.
literally.
They'll
It's-
live there.
They will
They'll
have lots
live
of
there.
sex virtually.
This is
don't
where
want-
this is where civilizations go. This is the Fermi paradox. This is why we
No.
have the Fermi paradox.
Right.
We will
I
live in
mean,
that empty room with all the
we are-
furniture and
we are-
decorations.
we are glued to this here right now, to a stupid smartphone, right? I'm like always in front of this. It's crazy. And
Yeah, that's true.
we are so addicted to this technology, and we're going to be addicted to AR technology. And when this is going to happen, when you really can experience something that is better than virtual reality, or where you can experience somebody's cool experiences, doing something amazing, any kind of amazing things, then yeah, it's going to be unbelievably addicting, right? Addicting, and people will be addicted. Probably some people will forget about their real bodies, and it's going to be like super dangerous for their bodies. This is going to be crazy, and I believe it's going to happen. Anthony, what do you want to say?
There's a great comment here by Scandalism. He says, but if the persons that recorded felt calm when they jumped out of the plane, then you're gonna get the
Right.
exact same sensation. So you're not gonna feel scared because the person that jumped out of the plane, the person that did the motorcycle stunt or whatever, they weren't feeling scared. They were feeling adrenaline. You'll feel their adrenaline, you'll feel their excitement, but they weren't feeling scared. So you're gonna get the exact. Basically, all the stuff that's going on in our brains is just little chemicals. And so if they get the exact mixture, you're going to feel the exact same thing. You
That's
won't be
scary.
yourself. We aren't ourselves. That's
Wait,
almost,
I'm not
that's the
even
most dangerous thing of this whole thing is that we are like these, we're like almost little AI bots that are just experiencing things at the end of the day.
But then there's really this huge scare about probably somebody hacking the device and totally brainwashing you. Probably,
Exactly, yeah.
Probably
I
then.
don't like the idea.
Yeah.
Some of my own emotions.
No. Really, like probably I'm going to put this on, and I think I'm going to be on a beautiful parachute flight. But then afterwards, I go and I vote for that party that I really don't like actually, or something might happen, or somebody will change my thoughts about something. Right, Steve? That's what's scary.
This is a proper invasion of privacy.
Yeah, you're right.
Never
This is
mind,
real. This is
never mind. Worrying about what books you read and God knows what and what comments you. This is complete mind changing. No, it's wrong. I think it's stepping our line. Absolutely. I think, like you say, Anthony, it's a long way away. By the way, Doris, my dog, she agrees with it. I think she wants to try it out straight away.
yeah.
So
Okay, show her or him to us. Yeah, very nice. Yeah, so this is something that I believe is going to happen, and they're working on this like crazy, right? Also, of course, right now, I think the research is more about helping people who are blind or who cannot hear, right? To have this kind of surgery to change this, but
Spinal surgery,
exactly. But in the future, this is going to be entertainment, and wow, that is going to be crazy, and lots of dangers come with it for sure. There's no question about it. But crazy, right? This is cyberpunk. This is really cyberpunk, where people are going to change their bodies, get all kinds of implants in order to feel different things. Yeah, definitely going to happen. And there was a very interesting interview with Gabe Newell. All right. Now we are already 1 hour and 40 minutes into episode 7 of the Next Dimension podcast. And we're getting to our main topic, which is the Quest 3, which is going to happen probably quite soon. The question is when it's going to happen. So Facebook has announced on their latest quarter. It's about how much they earned last quarter. And during that call, Zuckerberg told the public that actually they are working on the next Quest already. And that next Quest, it will be compatible with everything that's coming out on Quest 2. Really interesting. So they're still working on that whole ecosystem. Before we talk about what could this Quest 3 be like, I would like to involve you guys out there who are watching this live right now. I want all of you, more than 200 people, to vote. Voting is so important, and this is part of this show. I want you to interact. So please go down to the vote down in the description of this video. we're asking you a question. When do you believe the Quest 3 is going to launch? And 2021, 2022, or 2023? Please cast your vote right now. So at the end of the show, we're going to not forget to reveal what you've said, but we're going to tell you what you think when this is going to be revealed. So please go there now, and please do cast your vote right now. So actually, this kind of revelation was not so surprising to me. It's just like saying, okay, Apple is working on the next iPhone right now. Oh, really? Are they? So actually, I was not so surprised about this news. Of course, Oculus and Facebook are working on the Quest 3. Then they didn't launch the Quest 2 in order for that to be their last headset. Obviously, no. Obviously, they are very bullish about the technology. Obviously, they have already invested like millions and millions into this technology, and they do see this as a paradigm shift towards spatial computing, VR headsets, and then going to AR headsets as well. But of course, they're working on the Quest 3. The question now is, and that's what we want to speculate a bit about in this nice round here, we want to speculate a bit, what is this going to be? Is this probably simply going to be like a Quest 2 Pro with probably the same X2 chipset that has probably even a better resolution, or it has a wider FOV, or it's more comfortable, or it's just like better as compared to the low cost Quest that we have right now? Or is it something completely different? And that's what I want to ask you. Do you have any idea? What is your opinion? Anybody could simply say something about this topic.
I could start, I guess. The first thing I was thinking about the Quest 3 is whether it would be a more improved version and more expensive version, or are they going to continue that trend of lowering the price of the VR set? And I just based on the sales that Facebook had with Quest 2 and how it's breaking all the records, I think that the Quest 2 will remain its sort of budget-ish version of the VR set, and they might continue going on with a maybe more of an elite version with an overall changes in the qualities of life, like weight, size, battery life, comfort, and maybe a little bit more comfortable strap. So just many things that can be done with the general like improvements. I don't think that they will be continuing to try to cut down off the price, because then right now Quest 1 is almost like you don't really need that if you can get Quest 2 for cheaper and it's better. But I don't think that they would want to do the same with Quest 2 when the Quest 3 comes out. So they might keep it as a more of a budget version and improve Quest 3 even more. What I personally would like to see is that there's just so much hustle with this virtual desktop and link cable. If there was just one unified way to do it, that would be great. If it was native and we didn't have to hack it and buy the virtual desktop from SideQuest and try all these link cables. It feels like it's a necessary thing to do. I mean, they killed Rift for God's sake, right? So they have to make it more. They have to make it more natural for this to happen. So I will stop here. There's so much more I would like to say, but I will let you add to that as well.
Okay.
You're so right. Yeah.
So you
go ahead, Steve.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, I'm really torn on this one, to be honest. It's like a bit of a double-edged sword, because I kind of feel for everybody who's bought one, really. Like,
yeah, you just bought one like
literally,
a week ago, right?
You just got one now.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, I just feel it's like Apple meets Facebook. Like, we're going to get that iPhone, we're going to get that incremental drip feed of improvements every 6 months, a year, whatever it will be. And the improvements, I've just got a feeling they're just going to be enough to tantalize, to upgrade, but it's not going to be what you really want. It's not going to be that really wide field of view. And, I don't know. I feel like this is the start of something like how Apple does their business. I just think that we're just going to be giving them money, throwing money at them, and they're just going to be releasing one every 5 minutes. And I just don't think that's quite a good thing. Although, having said that, this for VR in general is a brilliant thing. We need it to be more mainstream. And if, like Tetiana says, if we can get a Quest 3 with native PC VR support, so we can plug it into our HDMI ports in our graphics cards, so it acts like a Rift, then you have that standalone as well. Then I'm on board with that. But I do feel I'm really, really, really concerned about the PC VR sector now. I mean, this is getting pretty grim at the moment for me. But I'm hoping, I'm hoping it's going to be a huge upgrade, but it's not going to be, is it? Let's be honest. It's just going to be just that little bit, just enough for us to be tempted. Yeah. And they could do so much more. This is a business model of theirs. And I don't know if I like that or not, really.
I could just add one little thing about, in defense of releasing new VR sets every year. I know it's really wasteful for users to buy it every year, but I think that in case of VR, with the way this technology is developing, every month we'll learn a new piece of news that something is better. Oh my gosh, we found this better way to do something that we've never had before. Just in order to stay on top of these things, they have to be releasing new VR sets. They have to be on top of these developments, because otherwise, someone else will win. And I think that they will continue doing that for as long as they have ways to improve their VR sets significantly compared to the predecessor. That's what I think.
Totally agreed. I believe that the technology is still you can still improve so many things. Like, compare the first Vive to what we're looking at right now, to the Quest, how much better it looks. So it's still exciting, actually. So it's still exciting to have new headsets. And, well, for me, as the guy who's like reviewing all these headsets, that's amazing. Bring them on. I want to review them all. But I totally get it, because really now it's exciting. We have not yet reached the point with VR that we have with smartphones, right? All our smartphones look like this. I'm sure that if you pull out your smartphones now, it's going to look exactly like mine here right now, right? And that's we have not reached that point yet. And I also agree with what Steve said. I believe this is going to be the Apple business model. simply bring out a new headset like every 2 years. Actually, that's what they said. Like Oculus said that they want to be on like a 2-year cycle. And then it's going to be in 2 years, lots of things are going to happen that will make you want to get the new device, especially for VR enthusiasts like us. Like we are like early adopters here, right? All of us. Us four, but also every single person who is watching this live right now and who's going to listen to it later. You are all early adapters because you are listening to this show. And you're all going to get the Quest 3. There's no question, I believe, in that. I mean, I hope that they would change their privacy problem, right? That's another topic. But in general, I believe that this is going to happen. And this business model that Apple introduced is so smart. They don't bring you the perfect phone first, right? Like I can remember, like one of the first iPhones, it didn't have 3G connectivity, even though it was already out, right? So they waited 1 year so that everybody is going to buy this year's model, but next year they are going to upgrade, right?
There was one with a flash, wasn't there? One without a flash, and then they upgraded with a flash, and everyone went crazy and went, "Oh my god, it's got a flash!
Yeah.
Gotta get that."
Exactly. And yeah, always something new, right? And then they will sell to the fans every single year. Because every year somebody can pay something like $400, at least where we live, right? So yeah, I believe that is the new business model. Every two new years, sell the better version and make lots of money. Right, Anthony? What do you think?
Yeah. So, well, number one, we just know that they're making a Quest 3, and we can file that under the water is wet, sky is blue. You know, I mean, of course, they're making a Quest 3. We all know that. But because we found out about this and we realized, oh, they really are making a Quest 3, and there's going to be this backward compatibility that Zuckerberg mentioned in the quarterly report, everybody is like, oh, my God. There's going to be a Quest 3. It's going to be announced this Christmas. It's coming out this Christmas. Panic, panic, panic. We don't know when this thing is coming out. So a lot of us are starting to kind of go into panic mode because we feel like, wow, this is just too soon. It's too fast. This is not right. Sebastian, you're talking about like a 2-year gap, maybe. Well, the difference between Quest 1 and Quest 2, if you actually look at the time, it was a little bit less than 18 months. It was like 16 and a half months. If it was 18 months, that would be exactly 1 year and a half. And so if they brought out a new Quest hardware every 18 months, I can kind of see that. I believe it's a little bit too aggressive because here we are. We all have Quest 2s now, but do we have Quest 2 software?
No.
Do we have anything that is
we don't.
Like where's Lone Echo 2 that requires the Quest 2? Medal of Honor on Quest that requires the Quest 2? We haven't even gotten to that yet. Yeah, and by the time we get those games, and all of a sudden there's a Quest 3 right around the corner. But on the flip side, I understand that Facebook, we are in the early days of VR. Tetiana was kind of talking about this as well, that there's so many rapid advances that are happening so quickly that it's like, oh, we've got a better headset that's even cheaper. Do we leave it in our development rooms, or do we actually manufacture this and give it to the people? That's kind of what they did with the Quest 2, is like, we've got all these advancements. We're sitting on it. Do we sit on it, or do we just release it and it's $100 cheaper? So we might get some of that happening in these early years where it isn't so much a factor that they have to release a new headset, but they've got so much new technology that's flipping over so quickly and it's even cheaper. Let's just get this out instead of manufacturing the same old thing that they already have. I'm looking forward to full color pass-through. Quest 3, baby. Full color pass-through, a lot of nice little features, quality of life stuff.
All right, cool. Yeah, I get it. That makes sense. Full pass-through. And let me tell you what I believe the Quest 3 is going to have. So I don't think it's just going to be a Quest 2 Pro that is a bit nicer or what. I believe that it's going to have more sensors. And it makes so much sense. Now hear me out. I believe that this device is going to have eye tracking and facial tracking. Does it make sense for Facebook? Yes. Because they want to know everything about you. They want to know exactly where you're looking at. They want to exactly know what you're all about, what kind of things you like. How long do you look at that nice thing that you see in VR that they're going to show you? What is your attention span on that ad that they're going to show you? And it's going to have facial tracking. Does it make sense? Of course. Horizon is on the horizon. See what I did there? So this is incredible because, well, this is social VR, right? We're going to meet people in virtual reality, and then if you have the new Quest 2 Pro or 3, then people who meet you in virtual reality, they will see your facial expressions. It's just so much better than simply be that normal avatar where you can use where you have to choose, okay, now I'm smiling or now I'm unhappy. No, you are smiling. Boom! It shows in virtual reality. It shows in Horizon.
Not so good if you're in a conference at work.
Though, for example, as well. And Facebook has done all that research already. Can you remember that when they showed these avatars, which were exactly like the real people, and they did have these facial cameras? They would scan you. They do have this, and they are working on it already. So we have just lost Tetiana here. I hope she's coming back. Yeah. So we have. They did all this research, and there she is back. All right.
I came back. I thought my cat would join us, but she decided that she had better things to do.
Okay, great. So doesn't it make so much sense that we're going to have this facial tracking together with eye tracking, and Facebook is going to make it so juicy and exciting for us, right? Just like how they made it with the Quest 2, with that XR2 chipset. Like, wow, forget that Facebook Force login. We need to have it because of the XR2 chipset. And then they're going to say...
Like Anthony said, we haven't even seen what the XR2
chipset
could do yet.
Right.
I was in Saints and Sinners and thought, this looks great, but it's the Quest 2 sleeping here. It could do way better than this. It could actually create more graphics than this. I want to see, what it's capable of this. But I think by the time developers, but what about developers when they're actually now, moving on to the Quest 2, and now they've got this announcement. By the time they get their games,
does Qualcomm have an XR3? Like, they haven't
not
even
yet.
announced
it. Yeah,
yet.
Exactly. They're going to announce it with the Quest 3 probably.
One thing we do know about this, though, is guess what? Facebook and Qualcomm, they're basically married, because they're talking about backwards compatibility, forwards compatibility. They are married, baby. You're not getting no NVIDIA chip or anything up in here. It is going to be Qualcomm for the foreseeable future.
Could be. Yeah, but I still believe, even though right now we don't see Quest 2 games that really make use of that XR2 chipset, probably the Quest 3 would have the same chipset, even exactly the same, but it has these more sensors. So it's up to you. Do you get the cheaper Quest 2 that probably going to cost $249 or $199? For me, $199 would be that impulse buy territory. It's so cheap. $199, you can just pick it up from wherever. I don't know what stores you have, Best Buy or Walmart, and then you simply bring it home and everybody's happy, right? And then probably the new device is going to cost, like now, $299 or $349. I don't know, it has the same chipset, but if you use this in VR for Horizon to meet your friends or for Horizon business, your business partners, and wow, they will be able to see exactly your emotions. You really don't want to wear that old Quest 2. You will be like, oh, what's with this guy who doesn't have any emotions, right? Oh, he's still using the Quest 2, that loser. I think that's how they're going to get us. I believe it's going to have these the face cam to get your facial expressions and where you look at that eye tracking. Do you believe
a lot more? It would need more than that for me. For me personally, if that was, because obviously it's the biometric year, isn't it, for VR headsets? But it would need a lot more than that for an upgrade for me personally. Definitely.
But do you think this could happen? The facial tracking stuff?
Absolutely, yeah. I think the facial tracking stuff is fantastic, and it'd be great for conference calls. But as I say,
the only thing, regarding the facial tracking though, is like, it depends on what direction they're going. Because if they're going for the $199 thing, I don't know that we're going to get all these cameras all over the place. But I would like those advanced Facebook avatars, because when that actually does kick off, you're right, Sebastian, because if you're in big screen beta and somebody has a Quest 2 and they're a little weeble wobble over in the corner, they're just a little weeble wobble, and then you have somebody with their Quest 3 and they're a full body avatar with full tracking. Like, this could have actual body tracking where it has down facing cameras. People don't have to buy special sensors and stuff, or like a Microsoft Connect and jerry rig something together to try to be in VR chat and all that type of stuff. So we could have legit body tracking and real the good Facebook avatar stuff. That could be a game changer, and just in time, right, for the Apple VR headset that they're going to be battling against.
Oh, exactly. So, Tetiana, what could make you buy the Quest 3? You're going to buy it anyways, right? You're a VR enthusiast and for your channel and everything, but what would make you, what would you want in the Quest 3?
Well, there are many things that I want. Doesn't mean I'll get them. But the one thing that I was kind of wondering, since we were talking about Facebook seemingly to follow this Apple's marketing model when they are releasing the headsets regularly. Everybody knows that. And they are releasing these different editions, like we have iPhone X, XR. So they're targeting different groups of users. I was wondering if maybe Facebook would be considering releasing more than just one headset, or like different like editions of the same headset. For example, could there be possibly a sports version of Oculus that would be more appropriate for people who like to work out? So they would be targeting people who only use VR to stay fit, because I know people who that was the main reason why they got a VR set, to stay fit, to work out, because it makes it so much fun. They are not bored when they're working out. So maybe they could release some VR sets that have some built-in fans that can keep lenses from fogging, or something from anti-sweat, or something that additionally tracks your like heart rate and your pulse and everything. That would be targeted for that, or maybe something in that direction. But different versions of different editions of this VR set. That's what I've been thinking about.
You never know. The upgrade could just be no Facebook login. That could be the upgrade.
That would be That would be the upgrade that would make me hype that device if it's great. You know
it
what?
Would sell well in Germany, right?
It would sell really good in Germany. And you know what? I really like the Quest 2, and I would hype the shit out of the Quest 2 because I love it. If it wasn't for that Facebook login, that's I'm sorry. Yeah, okay, get the Quest 2, but the Facebook login has these and these problems, and I really, right? I hate this shit. It's terrible. But if the Quest 3 had this option where you would not have to log in with Facebook, wow, I would love it, and I would go back to become an Oculus fan.
Would you choose no Facebook login over a 200 field of view?
Yes,
Quest 3?
Of course, because
Really?
I do not.
God.
Let them spy. Let them spy.
No, I don't want them. I don't want to let them spy, because again, for me, it's a different feeling. If I know, I'm now being analyzed in VR. Everything where I look at will be analyzed. That takes the immersion from me.
But your phone's doing that right now. Everything you have, every software, you can't get away from it in this day and age, I don't think, unless you live in a cave.
Yeah, but
Facebook will know when you run out of toilet paper, and it'll automatically order you a new roll. How awesome will that be? Or when you're out of dog food,
I don't want them to know what's going on my toilet.
yeah, but potentially.
Yeah, I really don't want. That's my privacy,
Toilet tracking.
Toilet tracking. And that's always the thing when people say, yeah, but I have nothing to hide. Yeah, then why don't you live stream yourself from the toilet? There's still something. It's your privacy. It's like you can be on the toilet and do whatever you want.
This is something you have discussed, I think, in the previous podcast, that it would be perfect if there were two versions of the VR set. The cheaper one that will collect your data.
Yeah, that would be fun.
And then a more expensive one where you get to save your data, but you overpay like $500.
$1,000.
How much would you be willing to overpay just to protect your data?
Okay,
wow,
so
priceless, isn't it?
Yeah, so there's the Quest 3 and the normal version where they check out everything from me. It's going to cost $299, right? And there's the version where absolutely nothing from me is tracked. I'm completely anonymous, and everything I do in VR, also in Facebook Horizon. They're not going to check whatever I do and whatever I say. They're not going to control they're not going to like censor me and my political views. Wow, I would definitely pay $600.
Okay, because really?
Yeah,
So you think
I would
Facebook
do that.
would make less than $600 from all the data that they would collect with you? I don't think that it's a good deal for Facebook. I think
Yeah,
they would
that's
make
why
a
they
lot more
don't.
than
That's
that.
why they're not going to do it. That's why they are still going to force
Unfortunately.
people to use that
Yeah.
thing.
One thing I will say though, that it has to have better audio. I mean, I must admit the Quest 2 is actually much better than the Rift S, even though it's the same piped speakers, isn't it? Layout, but whatever they've done with the software is actually. I was quite impressed with the audio. However, it's still a bit crap, and they need to sort that out and have some sort of better solution. Like floating ear design, some sort of rip-off design of the Valve Index would be nice.
That would be amazing.
Yeah.
So Steve, you want to have better audio and you want a better FOV. That's what you want.
Well, no, honestly, what would make me upgrade is just that HDMI port, even if it was exactly the same, just so I have a direct line into my graphics card and I can play PC games. And if that was there, there'd be a hope for PC VR games in the future. I think if that's not there, I'm going to cry, I think.
PC VR games in the future are going to be Questified. I mean, they're
we know.
definitely going to be all lowered a little bit. That's just reality for right
Don't
now.
say that to me, please.
But it's true. It's going to be like this, Steve. Everything's going to be
Well,
Questified.
I'm
Your
waiting for
flight
the
sim
reader.
is going to look like Quest games too soon.
I'm looking
Don't
forward
say
to
that.
But you'll be able to run it at 144 hertz. That'll be
yeah,
awesome.
yeah, right. Exactly.
Wow.
If I
Hopefully
may
by
say-
then the cloud will be available and we'll be able to stream it from a supercomputer and then we'll be fine.
It's going to happen. Tetiana, you want to say something?
Yeah, I was thinking there's one thing we were talking about on the our Discord channel. First we were talking about this, built-in headphones that you said better audio, and that triggered me that why not create finally the headphones that would be built into the Elite strap or something. But the second was about the Guardian. So obviously Guardian can be improved, but one thing that I would like to see is some kind of option to receive notification if something enters your Guardian. Because there was a story when you're playing a game.
Cat
and
alert!
Your
Dog alert!
Your cat is just walking right in front of you and plops in front of you, and you playing Saints and Sinners, and you're kicking it with a leg. This is terrible. So obviously you don't want it all the time. Sometimes you draw the Guardian over some objects just because you know that you're not going to be walking there, and you don't want to see the Guardian in the VR set. But sometimes I would like to know if my cat is entering. So
you're right.
So I'm more careful.
They
with that.
sell these special collars, Oculus collars, and it tracks your cat.
That would be brilliant. Yeah.
And how about an SD card?
Okay.
Yes,
have an
that's a good
SD
point.
card?
Why the hell we got an SD card?
Because they would also lose money. Everybody would be buying in.
They might be able to be
64
hacked by SD too. That's possible.
But yeah, I think the point is they want to sell their more expensive version, which has more memory, right? That's why there's no SD card. Because they don't want to sell you the cheap one, Tetiana. They want to sell you the expensive one.
Yeah, fair enough. But what if I bought the expensive one and I want even more memory?
Wow.
Should be like 1 terabyte at least.
Wow.
Because the games are progressively going to become bigger too, so you
Right.
will want more space on that.
Yeah, Saints
Or
and Sinners is like 9 gig, 9 gig on its own, And I want games like that on the Quest 2.
Yeah.
So,
But I really don't believe that this is going to happen. Like SD card. I would love it too, of course. Right, but it's not like, it doesn't feel like Oculus. Just like it doesn't feel like like Apple, that they would allow this kind of thing, like to put some SD cards. I don't think this is going to happen.
So
Yeah,
probably
a branded one that will, be specifically for the device.
okay.
So you have to.
Ah,
that's what
yeah,
it'd be.
a memory
Well,
stick.
it
they're
Kind of
probably
like
going
a
to
little
double the
link cable.
storage on all of them then. And we're probably not going to
Yeah.
get this $199 headset. They'll be doubling the storage sizes.
Right. But Anthony, what would make you buy the Quest 3?
Not a lot. I will buy it right away, pretty much.
Yeah, of
But
course.
no, what I really want, I definitely want that full color pass through, because what I want to do is I want to be able to put on a VR headset where it's almost like I didn't put a VR headset on. I'm putting a VR headset, but I still have my world here. It looks clear, it looks clean. And then I have the menu floating there. And then it's like, okay, go into VR. Now I'm into VR. And then as I get close to physical items, maybe it starts to warn me a more advanced Guardian like Tetiana is talking about. One of the things that we have to wonder, though, about Quest 3 is if this is coming as fast as we think it is, we're probably not getting like 9 different cameras on it and seeing, live maps. Like Facebook's live maps that they're working on for their future AR headsets and eventually future VR headsets as well, is like where it does scan your whole room and it makes a recreation of it. And then like it can do basically what Custom Home Mapper is doing, but automatically. And it will see your cat. And
privacy.
It will see your dog.
Goodbye.
The problem is, and it will know how much toilet paper you got.
Oh, no.
But the thing is, I don't know that that's going to be ready for Quest 3. I think we might be looking at Quest 4 for that, but I am super excited for that.
Okay. Wow. Very exciting things. So this is going to happen for sure. Eventually, Quest 3 is going to happen. And the question is just when. So again, I think let me just check the polls. Only how many people? 48 people have voted. Guys, we need definitely more. We need at least 100. Come on, we have 231 people watching this live right now. That's amazing. That is so cool. But we need more people to vote. So please go rock the vote now. Go to the link down in the description of this video and let us know, when do you think the Quest 3 is going to hit? Is it this year, 2021? Is it next year, 2022? Or is it the year afterwards, 2023? Please rock the vote right now and do let us know what you think. And I want to ask the same question now to Steve. What do you believe? When is the Quest 3 going to hit?
Well, what I believe is not what I wish for. I hope it's next year. 2022 would be a nice year, but I think it'll be this year.
Really? Really? Wow,
yeah.
Man. But Steve, that would be crazy, because there's not even one game yet that uses the Quest 2. Wouldn't that be too crazy, even for Facebook?
I hope I'm wrong. I'm going to say that and hope I'm wrong with it. But I just feel like this sort of Apple mentality, this new business model that they're adopting, means regular upgrades, especially at the price £300. If you think about, if you think about, flagship phones these days are over £1,000. They're out every year. It could quite easily make it a yearly cycle, and people will still buy it. So
October 13th would be 1 year. That's 12 months. But the last time, when they did it this last time, it was about a 16.5-month spread. So we're talking like March 2022, right there for you, baby, for your tax returns.
Right.
But yeah, I hope it's 2022.
Okay. So Anthony, you think it's going to be 2022?
Yes. I would say spring 2022, which is already too early. That's already too early, but okay, spring 2022 is what I say. Because because of what you just said, we need some native Quest 2 game. Like, we haven't even had that yet. Like Resident Evil 4, which is rumored, might be a native Quest 2 game. Medal of Honor might be a Quest 2 game if they can get it working on there. Lone Echo 2 might be a Quest 2 game. And we haven't even had that yet, but I think that could happen later this year, and then Quest 3 in the spring.
Wow. That would be crazy. And I'm just seeing something here on the chat. Hello, Paradise Decay. Hi, PD. Hope everything is fine with you. And PD says, Zuck said he's hoping for release this year. Oh my goodness. That would be too crazy. That would be too crazy.
This is why I think this is not too crazy. And I think I'm in it with Steve, because I would prefer it to be for later, just to space it out more, to give us more opportunity to kind of, okay, what's next? Because I'm still super excited about Quest 2. I still think it's amazing.
It is.
I don't want it to get, I want it to get better, but I'm happy with, I bought it. I want to continue being happy with it, and not think that now I don't have the newest one. But why I think that it could come out in October or November this year, because I think that when Facebook was thinking about how to release this VR set, make it more affordable, they had to cut down on a lot. And I think it's quite possible that they had these ambitious ideas and developments that were ready to put in there, but it wouldn't justify the cost. They couldn't afford to put them there and to still keep the price tag of $299. So there is a chance that those ideas that they put on the back burner, they are ready, and they didn't even work too hard on it lately because they've already had those ideas prepared for the next release. And now they're just going to pile it up together in this new shiny VR set and maybe throw in a couple more. But I don't think that they started from the scratch when they were
they'll claw more money back with these, regular updates. They'll earn about as much money as they would if it was $600, in a day, and people will buy it. They definitely will. But yeah,
you're right.
Quest 3 versus BCI. Maybe Quest 3 will have some BCI. Remember, they bought that one company, Control Labs. They're doing some BCI type stuff.
Right. But you know what? Like, I personally don't think it's going to happen this year. It would be too crazy and too aggressive. I mean, we do know that Facebook is probably one of the most aggressive big tech companies out there. That's for sure. But that would be even too crazy for Facebook, I think, because, well, people have just gotten the Quest 2, and people are not yet used to this kind of cycle that we have from phones, where you simply get a new phone every year. And I personally don't do that, but I think most of people will not be used to it. And I think people would be kind of unhappy. People would really be unhappy if now they have to get another Quest 3 in order to get the next cool things, and we don't even have a Quest 2 game yet. So I believe the same like Anthony. Anthony, you said like next year sometime, right? Spring 2022. I'm also more looking into this. And one more thing, Facebook is going to release some kind of smart AR glass together with Ray-Ban this year. So it would be like two big releases. If they come out with a Quest 3 and these Ray-Ban glasses, I believe that would be too much. Anthony.
Also, I was going to say Zuckerberg, in this particular quarterly report breakdown, one of the things that he mentioned was that he believes that the Quest 2 is going to be the first mainstream VR headset. And people were like, okay, well, what do you mean by that? And if you go back to some of his previous talks at like Oculus Connect 6 or Oculus Connect 5, he basically said that once you hit 10 million users, it's like a new world for the developers. People get to sell a lot more copies, and it becomes this profitable ecosystem for everybody. And as well as Quest 2 has sold this last Christmas season and early this year, there's no way it's already hit 10 million. But maybe by later this year, going into next year, it could hit 10 million. But if they were to come out with Quest 3 this fall, there's no way this is the mainstream headset he was just talking about. So I think that completely disregards. I don't think there's any chance of a 2021 release for Quest 3, my opinion.
Okay.
50-50 then.
You're right. We're going to find out during the course of this podcast series this year, next year, who's going to be right. Well,
place your bets.
Yeah, place your bets, exactly. And you can still vote right now. When do you think Quest 3 will launch? 2021, 2022, or 2023? Now is the last minute that you could probably vote. So I'm still giving you some time here right now. The link is down in the description of this video. So vote right now to make your voice heard. We have like 82 votes right now. And I'm going to reveal the result really, really soon. So let me set this up now so that everybody can see this. And now I'm going to show the results. Let me stop the vote. Now it's too late. And here are the results. So, when do you think Quest 3 will launch? 2021, 28 people said that. 2022, 50 people said that. And 2023, 5 people said that. Yeah, it's like most people think it's going to happen in 2022. So next year. That's what Anthony and me think. And this year, 28 people, still quite a lot of people, actually quite a lot of people think that it's going to happen in this year. I think this would be really crazy, actually. Well, but it could happen.
Like I say, I hope it doesn't, but I've just got this feeling.
It's not necessarily a good thing. Just because we voted for that doesn't mean
Right,
we
right.
want that.
Right.
Want that.
But you could simply believe it could happen because, well, they are aggressive, right, on this.
They don't care. Exactly. They're just business first, and then whatever second.
Wow, that is crazy. Wow, we are already 2 hours and 19 minutes in. This is crazy, and it felt like nothing. This is really a nice podcast. I really enjoy this, and I absolutely hope that everyone out there enjoys this podcast too. If you do so, if you enjoy this podcast, then why don't you spread the word? Why don't you tell at least one friend about this podcast? And why, when this is out later, why don't you simply share this URL with them and tell them, hey, this podcast is called the Next Dimension Podcast. This is pretty good stuff. And every Saturday, they do this thing. Now, this is the 7th episode, so please spread the word about the Next Dimension Podcast. Hopefully, at one point, we're going to break the 300 people viewing this live. Today, we're now at 222 people watching this live. I think that's phenomenal for such a young podcast. So thank you, everyone out there who's watching it right now. And why don't you make some noise for the algorithm? Give this a thumbs up. And I would really ask you, if you own an iPhone, if you own an iPad, open your podcast app right now, find the Next Dimension Podcast, because we are there, and write a review. With this, we can grow faster, we can have more people who listen to this goodness and who get to know everything about VR and AR. I believe we have talked enough for this episode. What do you think?
Probably.
Right.
We could go 2 more hours.
We could, yeah, we could.
We could keep going, really.
We could absolutely keep on going. And I simply love the atmosphere of this podcast. It really feels like you're talking about your favorite hobby with great friends. And wow, I love this podcast. It's amazing. So, yeah, thank you so much for watching episode number 7 of the Next Dimension Podcast. If you enjoyed this, again, please leave a review in the podcast app. Give this a thumbs up, and please tell one other person that you like and that you know they like VR. Tell them about this podcast and share the link to this episode. I'm sure they are going to enjoy this too. And we are looking forward to see you in the next episode next week. Bye-bye.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
All right. Wow. That was a great episode. Now is the cool down phase where we're still live, we're still online. And I simply want to ask you, how do you feel about today's episode?
Yeah, really interesting topics. Really just I just love, talking about it like this, because it just gets you more sort of excited about VR, and, it's just great to be able to sort of think about what the future might hold, good and bad, for what we love so much. Yeah, it's brilliant.
Honestly, I don't always like to speculate about things when we have such little information about it, because we can talk so much, like, oh yeah, and we can find, and we can
but
have
it's
this
fun.
tracking, and we can have this hand tracking, and it'll be tracking our eyes, and we'll be like, it's great. But then something comes out and it's like 1/20th of what we discussed, or something completely different. So I've done it before, and I'm like, oh man, especially about games, when they're talking about, oh, what's going to happen in the next, the Elder Scrolls 6, let's talk about what we want to see. It doesn't matter. Like, it doesn't matter.
Right.
Just think about that, as long as they do it. So but it's fun when we kind of, we all here have experience more than the just regular user. We have kind of a little bit more knowledge about this, where this can go. So I put a little bit of more trust in this kind of thing.
I think with the knowledge that we all have together, I think we can make some educated guesses.
Yeah, it's
really
reasonable. Yeah, these guesses are educated, so I'm enjoying them.
Right. And James O'Loughlin just says it sparks a conversation to speculate, and I think it's great. It's interesting. Like your thoughts, like make me also think more. And I was really like surprised, Steve, how deep you think into it about this kind of BCI thing, the brain-computer interface.
I'm surprised myself.
Yeah. Well, and we found it out tonight. Like, I was like, I was like thinking about this topic, and I only saw the good things, like the entertainment and all the great things.
So sorry.
I was thinking about I honestly I didn't even think about is entertainment. I was just thinking about this will take horror to like the no, and I started thinking about education and adaptive learning, and then I didn't really think about what Steve said about all these like privacy issues.
Right. I didn't think about it.
Yeah, I just think the mental health side of things could be catastrophic for a lot of people. This is a powerful technology. VR already is where we are now, let alone if it's going to be changing your brain waves and God knows what. I just think you've got to be vetted before you have a technology like that in your life. I think you have to maybe go through some sort of interview phase, make sure you're not, you're fairly, stable as a person and is able to distinguish between the reality and fantasy levels of your own psyche. Otherwise it can get a little bit scary, really.
Think of the approval process though, with the Federal Drug Administration and all that. Like, it's going to be hard for to actually allow individual people to have their skulls opened up and put a chip in it. It's going to be a long time, but it could help people that have brain injuries and things like that very soon. That's good.
Yeah, and for sort of cognitive therapy and for maybe OCD or
Alzheimer's.
Exactly. The behavioral. I mean, there's definitely some good points to it, but I mean for casual gaming, it's a bit too powerful for that for me personally.
Yeah, it makes sense. It's very intrusive, obviously, right? And
yeah, definitely.
Exactly. And Quadzilla says something cool. I'm glad Anthony is back every week. He put his heart and soul into VR Roundtable and VR 365, and it's amazing, amazing that you're here, Anthony. Also for me, thank you, man. It's amazing that we do this here. You've been here on every single show. It's
100% attendance for Anthony.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, pretty soon I'll need a vacation.
Yeah, you'll get one, of course. Yeah, absolutely fantastic. I'm super happy about this podcast. Again, 7th episode. And I feel like we're getting into the flow here. It really feels, it just flows. I don't feel like, this is strange or it feels unnatural. It just feels like it flows. And I didn't feel like this was 2.5 hours now. Do you have the same feeling?
We could have been in the pub just chatting away. Really.
Exactly, yeah.
That's exactly relaxed.
And you're already drinking enough.
Yeah, that's what I do. Yeah. I really want to recreate that feeling of being in a pub with friends talking about.
We'd be day drinkers over here.
You're right.
Yeah, no.
You're right.
No, it's Saturday, so
it's
festive.
I had some coffee.
Yeah, I wouldn't feel shy to drink at 11 a.m. But that's different. So probably in the future we're all going to meet in real life, right? Like Anthony and me, we met in San Francisco. It was amazing, and I have the feeling it's going to happen too with us at one point in time.
Yeah, a future GDC or something would be really fun.
Exactly.
Or Oculus Connect.
Exactly. Yeah, cool. Let's wrap up this episode of the Next Dimension podcast. Thank you, everyone, for watching this DIY VR channel. Lars, Kills, Quadzilla, Sampler, Blitzado, RG, and all these people, all you people who are watching this, thank you so much. And don't forget to share this with at least one person.
Every time someone mentions your jellyfish, it's
those jellyfish are not right.
God. I love them with my whole heart, but they are plastic. They are not real.
You're going to have to say that every time you realize that.
Yes, I do.
Right.
This VR, the jellyfish are not real.
Exactly.
That's my tagline.
Right. And VR Virtu asks, Seb, are you in North America, if I can ask? No. Even I have this beautiful North American accent. I am actually in Germany. I am in good old Germany. I am German, and I'm here in Germany. All right. That's everything that we got for this episode. Loved it. Thank you for being here with us. And we're going to see each other next week. Bye-bye. Don't forget the thumbs up and sharing this with everyone that you know. Bye-bye.
Bye bye. Take care.
Bye.